Welcome into Forward Progress. It's another live watch along Thanksgiving night. Happy Thanksgiving to all of my American viewers and listeners out there. It's the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers tonight. Hope everyone's had a great day with their family. A little bit of tryptophan, feeling a little bit out of it after all that heavy turkey and the gravy, some wine. I'm not American, but I may have indulged a little bit this afternoon in celebrating the Dallas Cowboys winning today's game. Now, full disclosure, I'm an open book, very transparent. It's very important to me to always be transparent. We did a live stream, 9 a.m. Eastern time this morning here on the Forward Progress channel. Myself, joined by Johnny from BetStamp, G-Stack George, Cleve TA, Eric Eeager, Clive Bixby, Suma, Kanish, gave out some bets. Those bets are 3-2 thus far. Someone asked me towards the end of that stream, what else do you like on the card today, Rob? And I kind of went through some stuff overall. But ultimately, I did not love anything for this specific game tonight, with the exception of the best bet that I gave out. I'm going to give it out again. Numbers moved. We're going to bet a little bit smaller on it overall. But honest truth, for those of you out here tonight, I've had a good day. I don't love this game. I'm looking for action. I'm going to spend the next 3 hours trying to entertain myself in some capacity, whether that's some pregame bets that may not be plus EV, some live betting, whatever I can do just to make this a little bit more interesting. Want to make that known before we get into it tonight? Don't want anyone playing too much, potentially chasing any losses from earlier today, whatever it might be. I do want to make that known. Let's get this started by hammering that like button down below. Smash it. I know it's Thanksgiving. Appreciate everyone tuning in, but this helps YouTube elevate our content in real time and get other people to find it. All right, let's get into it. Main market on the game. Seattle took a little bit of money in the last half hour or so. To me, that's not a surprise. I think there were some people waiting to make sure Geno Smith would be active before betting Seattle. The challenge in handicapping this game is, what is the state of Geno Smith? He's active. If you've been watching the pregame warmup, as I have been, doesn't look all that great. Doesn't look like he's going through all the motions. No idea what that's going to mean for the game. He does have a sleeve on his right arm. He has a triceps injury. But that makes it incredibly challenging to handicap this game. At full health, I'd probably lean to Geno here and the Seahawks at +7. But right now, as it stands, I do not want anything to do with this game. Should be noted, if you like the 49ers, best numbers in market right now, Pinnacle Sportsbook. And this stream is powered by Pinnacle. -7 +102, best price. If you want the money line, -300, by far the best price as well. I preach it every single week. Line shopping is important. It's no different because today you're with your family or whatever. Be smart. All this stuff adds up over time. So bet smart, bet Pinnacle, your trusted sportsbook the past 25 years. And if you're going to sign up in Canada, use code HAMMER to do so. It supports us here at Forward Progress. I want help from the people in the chat today. Normally, it's me giving the bets to you guys tailing, some of you fading, whatever you want to do. It doesn't bother me one way or another. But I want bets from you guys. What are you playing tonight? Let me know in the chat. I'll walk through them. I'll look at my numbers. We'll see if we can get something going. We got 10 minutes, 45 seconds up until kickoff here. And if you think I'm not going to play a first touchdown dart today and potentially a last touchdown dart, then you got another thing coming. Another thing coming. All right. Starting with the total, Lars likes the over 42.5, -150. He mentioned it a few times. My number on the game is higher than this. But there's an assumption built into my number that Geno Smith is Geno Smith. And this is the inherent challenge with the full market on this game. I don't know what to do with it. If you think you do know what to do with it, go for it. But I will say my number is definitely higher than 42.5. Aiyuk first TD plus 1,000. Okay. Here's my issue with the San Fran touchdown prices. You got nothing new with the San Francisco lineup that's going to cause any sort of chaos. And when I say that, it's a healthy offense. They're missing the right guard tonight, Spencer Burford. Nothing major, but all your key skill position players are there. Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Aiyuk, Juwan Jennings, George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk. Like, no one's out where I think you're going to get something that's super mispriced in this market. San Fran, way more likely to score first. I get that. But personally, I'd rather target guys on the Seahawks because of the absence of Kenneth Walker. I think that changes things a little bit. For one, obviously, Zach Charbonnet gets a heavier workload. That's reflected in the props already. But maybe someone like DJ Dallas comes into play. You look at DJ Dallas last week, got 7 snaps. It's nothing, really. But maybe in a blowout game, if San Fran's covering big time, you get DJ Dallas in the game towards the end to save Charbonnet. That's possible. But we have seen that when one of the 2 running backs goes down. In week 7, Zach Charbonnet was out. DJ Dallas got 14 snaps behind Kenneth Walker. Last week, when Kenneth Walker got hurt, DJ Dallas got snaps. So that's kind of the way I want to target it. And potentially, I know there's no injuries in the receiving core for the Seahawks, but we are getting some like weird things. Because obviously you look, Tyler Lockett is dealing with something and has been for a few weeks. So his snaps were down last week. DK Metcalf on the field a lot, but also not the snap counts in recent weeks that you would expect from a clear number 1 and 2. So it seems like there's some sort of preservation happening with these receivers. JSN got more snaps than Tyler Lockett last week. Jake Bobo still getting snaps. D. Eskridge was on the field for 14 snaps last week. D. Wayne Eskridge. So that's kind of the way that I prefer to go. A lot of these are darts, but that's kind of the way I prefer to go. So I'll start with the first prop that I played this morning, which was on the stream, Colby Parkinson over 5.5 receiving yards. That's been bet up to 6.5. Now, this is not a massive move. It's 1 yard. People are going to say 1 yard. There's still a 5.5 available, but it's not minus 115. It's minus 122. So it's a small move. But when receiving yardage totals are this small, a move like that is like somewhat significant. So we're going to dial back the units a little bit. I'm still going to play the over here. I mentioned the reasons why this morning. But even though Colby Parkinson's third on the depth chart, behind Will Dissly, Noah Fant, he's getting same types of snap counts. He only has 4 less targets than their starting tight end, Noah Fant, this season. I think this is a good number. So we're going to play over 6.5. We can take a widely available number, Jacob. Even the minus 110 is fine. Definitely widely available at minus 110. And we can lock that in for $50. Base unit of $50. 55 to win 50. So that I'm already on. I would still bet it at this price. And in fact, I will still bet some more at this price just so that I'm not giving out bets that I'm not betting myself. At this number, I'll bet it. I'm also going to pull up some first touchdown bets. We're going to fire them right now. Johnny gave it out this morning as something he liked. I'm going to tail because I could never live it down if he hits his first touchdown and I didn't hit it on Jake Bobo. $5, Jake Bobo, first touchdown. $5, sorry, Jacob, to win 250. That would be a banger. We're hitting that. Widely available number. There's 47 to 1, 45 to 1 out there as well. I'm going to go with a D. Wayne Eskridge, anytime TD, which I'm hoping is priced in the 20 to 1 range and is $5 at 20 to 1. I got to get these in quick. And we're going to go with DJ Dallas, last TD. DJ Dallas last TD of the game, 28-1 as well, and put another $5 there. And we are going to rip those. D2 likes Frisco team total over, as did Clive Bixby this morning. Debo rushing yards over, interesting at 10.5. I kind of like the Elijah Mitchell under slightly on his rushing yards, not enough to bet it. Jamil, Geno throws an INT. I don't want to take things. I get the logic, but I actually think about it in the opposite way. Personally, I don't want to take things to happen for Geno with the likelihood that he might not play a complete game. So I get it. Arm injury, tricep injury can affect your throwing motion, maybe weaker throws, but there's also the built-in possibility that he doesn't finish the game. And I don't want to take something for him to happen. What are your thoughts on many of the books moving to 6.5? Off a key number late like this must be something. Yeah, so someone is betting a lot of money. Someone respected in the space is betting a lot of money on Seattle at +7. If you're seeing sharp books move to 6.5, someone who has big influence betting at post, probably waiting till post to get the highest limits and or get the best number. So that's it. That's all it really comes down to. Someone big is playing Seattle late here. Mentioned it off the top. If I had to pick a side at 7, it would have been Seattle, but it doesn't matter at this point. That looks like it's going to be it. Fant has almost doubled Parkinson's targets on the season. Yes, but also if we look at the price, it's reflected in their actual yardage, their totals. But I'm getting Noah Fant I'm getting way less targets overall than the numbers that are reflected here. So either I got a bug, Kyle, or you got a bug. But it'd be good if either way, we'll figure it out. At least it'd be nice that somebody pointed that out so I can go back and look at it afterwards. Thoughts on the Cowboys? Oh, never mind. Sorry, Scott. I will get to that. Thoughts on the Cowboys D today and that bland pick 6. I mean, it's like narrative-y now or whatever, but we repeatedly are seeing the same thing when Dallas plays at home against a bad team, and they tend to dominate those games. I will say, what the hell are the Commanders doing on offense? Like, these guys are insane. Like, I understand you want to protect Sam Howell, and he takes a lot of sacks, and he took a few early here, but you're having success throwing the ball on early downs. What are you doing? Getting away from that repeatedly. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Ron Rivera, dude, you're a 13.5 point underdog in the game. You don't punt on 4th and 4 on the other side of the field, on 4th and 2 on the other side of the field. Like, this is insane behavior. It's nuts. Like, this is not just me as an analytics guy. This is just like common sense, people. Common sense. So the Dallas D is great, but they're being made look good, in my opinion, by a lot of these opposing game plans and also just the quality of quarterbacks that they're facing. So I think the Dallas D is a little bit overrated. I saw someone post like a FanDuel prop where they won 27-1 on a Deron Bland pick 6, which, everyone can evaluate that however they want to, right? Man, you offer me 27-1 on a pick 6 for a player. I mean, that's a 3.6% implied probability. I know what his numbers have been previously this year, but it seems like that's not a good enough price to bet it. Anyways, congratulations on the win. I'm not trying to be like a stick in the mud, but Deron Bland is amazing. He's going to cheat a lot of times as well. Those prices are a little bit out there, as Kramer would say. Ron Rivera is a joke. He's made so many terrible situational coaching decisions. He is a joke, man. He is a joke. What do you think the price will be when we play the Eagles at home in a few weeks? Well, I mean, we can just do this based off of implied market ratings right now, where basically Philly and Dallas are priced pretty close to equal on neutral field. More so, I guess, Philly maybe a half point ahead. So I would expect something in the range of Dallas -1.5, -2 in that game. No idea where the market would go. I'd be very surprised if Dallas closes -3. But you're going to be in the range of Dallas as a short favorite, somewhere between, -1 and -2.5, in my opinion. I don't think they'll open as a dog in that game. I'd be surprised if they did. Maybe pick them. But based off the way the market is valuing these guys, I don't think that's going to be the case. I got 4 guests with me tonight. Iain MacMillan's going to join me momentarily. I got Geoff Fienberg joining me. He's probably had a full day watching football. No, who knows what condition that guy's going to be in when he joins. No idea what Fienberg we're going to get tonight. I hope it's the saucy one. That's my hope. Third quarter, Eeager. I told Eric this morning, I was making some jokes about Thanksgiving and whatever, and the crazy uncle. But Eric's the one joining me tonight. I think Eric is actually the crazy uncle. Like, I think in his family, he's the crazy guy that's just getting away from, I got to do this podcast tonight with these Canadian guys. That's going to be Eeager in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, G-Stack George. Thought he could bet against the Cowboys today. What a big mistake that was. Momentarily here, I'm going to bring in Iain MacMillan. Really quickly before I do, I will give everyone a countdown to the play clock as I see it. 14 seconds, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, and we got our first snap of the game with Brock Purdy completing it to Christian McCaffrey over the middle of the field for like 15 yards. Maybe a sign of things to come. All right. You've seen him here before on Forward Progress. At the time, I don't think he was rocking as dirty a stash as he is right now. This thing has gotten out of hand. It has gotten out of hand. Iain MacMillan hopping up and in. Right here on Forward Progress. Iain, how's it going?
It's going well, Rob. I was on a couple weeks ago when the mustache was in its early stages, and I think the word you used for it was disgusting, I think. Maybe terrible. It wasn't a great adjective. Has it gotten any better in your mind? Because I bought some beard oil last week to put on it to hopefully make it a little bit more full and look a little nicer. What are your thoughts now?
You know what? You were in the waiting room, and it's on like a really small screen for me, so I couldn't tell. This is much more of like a sexual predator type of look right now than it was.
I thought you were about to say something positive.
No, it was more of like an adolescent stash when it was growing in first, but now it's filled in, and like you look like you're probably driving a white van around the neighborhood offering candy to people at this point. I hate to say it, I just call it how it is. I'm a man of transparency, Iain,
and I appreciate that.
Yeah, hey, listen, you're doing it for charity. That's the important thing, right? Who cares how you look?
But I am going to be honest though, Rob. I do kind of like it, and I might keep it. I'm prying into the personal life now. Okay. Are you with you have a girlfriend right now or anything like that? You have a girlfriend? Yes.
So what does she think of it?
She says that she likes it, but when I asked her if I should keep it after this month, she goes, well, we'll see.
Okay. Like, oh. So that's your first sign right there.
Right.
I also enjoy having a mustache, but my wife sometimes looks at me and she's like, no, this is not happening anymore. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's not worth fighting over is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
I'm getting.
You're right. 100%.
It's not worth fighting over. Am I ahead of you today on the stream or am I behind you?
Yes, because the only time I'm going to be ahead of you, I think, is the Prime games. But now I'm on Hulu watching this, and as you were counting down the play clock before I got on here, the ball of the kickoff was in the air. So I'm significantly behind you, probably by 30, 40 seconds.
That's tough because I would have really paused it, but I can't go I can't go that far back in time.
No, it's all good.
It's just
don't worry about spoiling it for me either. It's all good. It's one quarter.
No. Yeah, no, I wasn't worried about it. Right. I was not worried about it. Do you and Josh Giddey hang on weekends? Is Moretos McCaffrey is just having a big start here. Big start here. As you're about to see in approximately 60 to 90 seconds, Iain. That's you're drinking some high noons there, man. I know my I know my liquor bottles.
Yes. Trying to stay off the beer a little bit now.
Yeah.
Those calories a little bit, you know.
I may not show it because I'm a true professional when I do these streams, but I got absolutely sauced today. Nice. I drank a lot of water before I started the stream. We're no longer sponsored by Last Call, but I'll promo them anyways because I'm gonna have to down like 2 or 3 of these to prevent a massive hangover at some. It's a little hangover.
Okay.
Oh, they work, man. Not paying me, like I said. I'm not even saying it, but
I use Liquid IV. I think those are. I don't think they sell them in Canada. I think they're illegal in Canada.
Are they illegal? What's in it that would cause it to be illegal?
I have no idea. I just know that whenever we go to Canada, my girlfriend's friends always ask us to bring up Liquid IV and smuggle it across the border. So,
yeah, Eric knows. He is absolutely correct. Last Call makes your pee. I wouldn't say neon green. For me, it's highlight or yellow. It actually looks very much like the Seahawks jerseys tonight when I urinate after drinking the Last Call. It's because it's got all this vitamin B12 and your body can't absorb the amount. There's something on this thing that's absurd. Like the amount of daily intake of your vitamin B12. I don't know, something like 5,000% of your daily intake. Like who needs that? Who needs that? Scripted drive for the Niners is going pretty well here, all the way down the field.
Yeah, I got Niners at 6.5. So that's the big bet I'm rooting for here.
All right. I don't got much going on. If you see me celebrating like a madman, it's because Colby Parkinson caught a ball for more than 5 yards. That'll be
perfect.
That's what I will be rooting for tonight.
I did listen to your props. I did jump on with Jake Bobo first touchdown. That's not looking good at this point though.
No. We wanted San Fran to get to Seattle to get the ball first. Obviously, it's one of the challenges of the first TD prop. You put in the hands of the coin flip, right?
Yes.
Put it in the hands of the coin flip, which is
I did place just for complete fun this morning. I placed a $5 first touchdown parlay for today. That paid out $7,000, and I did hit the Packers receiver. Why am I blanking on his name? Whoever scored
Reed.
first, Jaden Reed.
Yeah.
And then I had CeeDee Lamb in the Cowboys game, and in the Cowboys' first possession, Dak Prescott missed a wide open CeeDee Lamb that would have been a touchdown. So if Brandon Ayuk scores first here, I might cry on camera because that was my leg for this one.
Okay, well, I'll tell you, Brandon Ayuk has not scored first, so you are okay. With that said, I would have preferred to. Listen. If I was truly a man of content, I would have told you that he did, just for the tears.
Yes. I didn't think I might have.
Yeah, I also took Johnny's 3 first touchdown bets this morning while I was doing the stream live and parlayed those for $20 to win $900,000. Unfortunately, that parlay did not come through. But
my bet for $5, I think the sweat going into game 2 with it still being alive, I think was worth the $5 bet. That
100%.
Made it fun.
Yeah, 100%. But then you would have got a
Debo
situation. Yeah, Debo scored first as a running play as well. It's going to hurt the Brock Purdy MVP chances. Those Brock Purdy MVP chances.
Do you think he has a chance?
Yeah, he's back to live now. First of all, I tweeted that he didn't have a chance like 4 weeks ago, so he certainly has a chance.
Right.
It's the old Pizzola reverse mush. It's just my life. I've learned to live with it at this point. It's a skill. It's a talent. The ice takes, freezing takes account. If they just monitored me full time, they wouldn't have to retweet anyone else. It could just be me permanently.
I tweeted, I think during the third quarter about how fraudulent the Eagles were when they were down by like 10 points to the Chiefs. And then, of course, immediately they came back and won. And I've just been fighting Eagles fans in my mentions and DMs since then. So,
yeah. What's this in reference to? Oh, it's the last call. Oh, Super Square was in town. I gave him a last call before a round of golf. Okay, so you're in the US now. You're a Canadian living in the US.
Yes.
Did you do a Thanksgiving today? Did you crash some sort of like party with friends or something like that?
No, we're gonna do it on Sunday. Which in Canada, that's when Thanksgiving is. It's on a Sunday. Here, everyone celebrates American Thanksgiving on Thursday. But I guess we're going to stick to that part of Canadian Thanksgiving where we're going to celebrate it this Sunday and have a nice dinner with a couple friends. So nothing today.
I long ago, I told when I first started dating my now wife, I told her and her family very early in the process, like the first time I met them, to never ever schedule something on an NFL Sunday. I'm like, I will not attend. I don't care whose birthday it is, whatever. I'm just going to be level with you guys. I'm going to watch NFL all Sunday, no matter what. Now, there's extenuating circumstances, things that happen that sometimes they get in the way.
Weddings?
Death in the family, a wedding. You schedule a wedding on an NFL Sunday. I mean, my betting partner did that. He scheduled a destination wedding in Cabo. I'm there. We're by the pool. We're bringing TVs down from the hotel rooms to hook them up outside. What are you doing?
I had a Sunday wedding this year in September, late September.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
It was tough. Yeah, in the
you just
Waterloo area.
You got to just really ask yourself, is this person still worthy of my friendship?
Right. It's tough.
I'll tell you what's not tough. Oh, my God. We almost got it. I almost got it. Oh, my God.
What?
I bet D. Eskridge anytime touchdown score, and he just took this kickoff down the sideline and got tackled by the last man.
What were his odds for that?
20-1. Horrible bet. Like, terrible bet. I advised the people here of how terrible a bet this was. Yeah, but I needed some action, man. 66-yard return. Almost there.
Oh, yeah, he almost had it too. Thoughts on these jerseys? Are these jerseys nice or disgusting?
I at first I hated them. Now they've really grown on me just because they're so different.
Yeah, I
like different. So
this can't be an every weekend jersey, but a couple times a season, I'm all in.
Yeah, I'm with you. Someone asked what number Colby Parkinson wears, and we got it in the chats. 84. 84 is the number for Colby Parkinson. So at some point, we're looking for Colby. Some might say the best Colby since Colby Rasmus. Some would say that. I once attended Colby Rasmus Day at the ballpark, where they gave out Blue Jay cowboy hats.
Oh yeah,
best giveaway day ever. Sat next to Taylor Hall that game. Whoa. He was rocking a Blue Jays cowboy hat just for a little bit. Then he took it off. He was too good to wear the hat for the full game. He said, "Fuck this. I'm a professional hockey player. I'm not going to look like an ass hat with the rest of these people out here."
T's and P's to Taylor Hall out for the year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that seems to be the case almost every year. Poor guy. Just always injured. Gino, as Joe Namath would say, struggling. Oh, man. Well, we got a game. We got football to be thankful about. You bet your Falcons this week?
No, not a chance. Not a chance, Rob. I hate my Falcons.
Yeah. I completely understand and would also hate them.
What they did a couple weeks ago to the Cardinals, it was the final straw. I can't do it anymore.
It's tough, man.
But then they're here in New York, New Jersey, I guess, next week, and of course I bought tickets to go. Yeah, and that's gonna be like a 9-6 game against the Jets.
Well, here's the thing. It's important. This coming from the most pessimistic person on the face of the earth. It's important to maintain a positive outlook with your teams. And for me, after the Cowboys, shit the bed, lose a big game or whatever, I always just try to say it could be worse. It could be worse, right? You could be a New York Giants fan, like producer Jacob. Now, he can't say it could be worse because he's in the worst situation. But for 31 teams, you could just say, you know what? We suck, but it could be worse.
But here's what I'll say about that, though. If you're a Giants fan right now, sucks, but you got 2 Super Bowls in like the last 18 years or 15 years.
I've seen 2 Super Bowls. Technically, one as a fan, but I've seen one.
Well, I've seen my team win 3 Super Bowls. I was like 5 years old, 6 years old, and 8 years
I
old.
was
At some point, there's like an expiry on this,
I
and
was
you need
12.
to win
I
again.
was 12. I think that's like the earliest. That's the youngest you can be to understand what's going on, kind of.
I was
So,
10 months old the last time any of my teams won a championship, the 93 Blue Jays. I was 10 months old. I'm now 30 years old, 31 here next month. And I have not seen any of my teams win. And so that's what makes it worse. Like, yeah, it sucks cheering for a team that's bad right now, but at least I just want one championship. So then during bad years, you can like toss on like the season DVD from that year and just try to remember the glory year. I don't have it.
Unfortunately with the Raptors won in 2019. That was all-time day of my life.
You know, Ian, it's actually so funny that you say that, because probably once a month I watch a 20-minute YouTube video of Italy's 2006 World Cup run. That just gets me through the month. Right. Where I've watched it 100 times. Every play memorized, but I still get shivers.
I don't know Italian, but I can recite every piece of commentary of that highlight package. I also watch it monthly.
Yeah.
I was 6 years old.
You know what the closest I have to that is Jose Bautista, the bat flip play.
Yeah.
Which I watch that once every few months. And that was to win a wild card series. That's the best sports moment I have in my life.
Yeah. I sometimes watch that entire inning prior as
yeah.
well. It's legendary.
Yeah.
Legendary stuff. But yeah, it's tough, man. Being a sports fan, but there's other things in life.
I had
beard oils, mustache oils, stuff you can be happy with.
I had a bit of an existential crisis. I was watching a David Beckham documentary on Netflix, and they showed highlights of the 99 Manchester United Champions League final. They scored twice in the last minute to win 2-1. I wasn't alive at that point. However, watching that happen, thinking about when Man United won the Champions League in 2008, I had an existential crisis because I realized that I'm only ever going to be as happy as that, watching my team win a championship or something as big as that, like maybe 5 times in my life if I'm lucky. And I had a bit of a crisis right there.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. But this is one day it will all be worth it. Exactly. One day, Ian, when we're in our 70s and the Leafs make it to the cup and lose in game 7.
OT game 7.
Triple OT.
I think I'll just die on the spot.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna be like, that's it. I've lived long. I don't care.
I've done all I can do.
That's it.
Jay in the chat said Ian just turned on the first half of the Super Bowl, the Falcons Super Bowl. Yeah, not only do I not have a championship, I also see 28-3 references on a weekly basis, and that game was 7 years ago. On a weekly basis, 28-3. Someone tags me on Twitter. Someone brought up 28-3.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. The 4-1 Leafs thing happened forever, right? 4-1 Leafs. Yeah. I mean, we weren't supposed to win that series. We were underdogs, big underdogs. Right. What are you going to do? Such is life.
I can't see 4-1 and not think about that game. Any game that's 4-1 ever, I think about that game.
It's tough. Dev says, wife can't fathom watching old highlights of my team's best years. Honestly, Devs, listen, I'm sure your wife is a nice lady, but it sounds like you're married to the wrong person. You know,
that's all we have are those old highlights.
If she can't get that, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
My mouse just died, man. How do the 49ers have people they have people wide open with no one near them on every play? This is my issue. Purdy's great, playing well, efficient in this offense. He's missed some throws this year, whatever. But dude, he doesn't have to do anything. These guys are so wide open. I guess he's got to make the reads and throw it to the right guy. So there's something there. It's not like I want to dismiss everything that he's doing. But holy shit, man. They're scheming guys wide. There's a reason Jimmy Garoppolo was top 5 EPA every friggin' year when he played for the 49ers.
Speaking of 28-3 Super Bowl, Kyle Shanahan.
There you go. Tough look.
And now we have Arthur Smith.
Tougher look. This is, I got to find the charger for this mouse now. It's all bad, man. It's all bad. Sorry. Cowboys won today. Big win. Cashed the over. Was distraught for most. You know what? Here's what betting does to you, people. Here's what betting does to you. You're a fan of a team. They're smoking another team. but all I can think of is I'm going to lose my bet on this over. I need Washington to do something. Please, God, I'm rooting for Washington touchdowns to cash a bet. They still didn't even score, and it cashed, which was great, but that was depressing. That was depressing.
I bet the Saints this week. I picked the Saints in all my pick'em pools. I'm starting all Saints players in my fantasy lineups. I will load up on the Saints, and if the Falcons find a way to win, I'll be fine with losing all of those bets.
Yep.
This is a big game for the Falcons. I think they're in first in the NFC South if they win this game at 6-6 or whatever they'll be.
Yeah, it's for the right to get smoked by the Cowboys in round 1 of the playoffs.
That's
basically
exactly what will happen. Yes.
Yeah, and then I'll talk myself into somehow betting the NFC South winner like I did last year with the Bucks in the first round. Oh, bad matchup for Dallas, this and that. And like, yeah, within 4 minutes of that game. What have you done? What have you done, Rob? What have you done? I got a private message saying Geno Smith's arm strength looks 80%, if that, tonight. We saw like a couple throws, but yeah, don't know.
D2 says I look like a young Artie Smith or perhaps Joel Damon with his stash. That's better than what you said I look like, Rob.
Yeah, I didn't mean it. Well, I didn't mean it, but it was kind of mean. I mean, it's the first thing that came to mind. Honestly, the real, you look like a 90s baseball player.
Well, that's way better. I'll take that.
Yeah, you look like you'd be playing, shortstop for a 90s baseball team.
Come on, Rob, just stick with your first take. You can't back
off.
No.
But that's it. Like you look like a 90s baseball player. Right. Like if we were to pull up images of teams from the 90s, you probably fit the profile of 80% of the players.
I think someone actually tagged me and I forgot who it was, but I think it was a baseball player from the 80s or 90s. They had some chest hair sticking out, though. I don't have that.
No chest hair.
I think some people have looked worse with a mustache, though.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt, man.
Right.
Without a doubt. I will say, like, again, this is not to, backtrack or anything like that, but you have, in my opinion, the premier type of mustache. It's filled in. It's no like little thin hooks and,
right.
like there's a lot of stupid mustaches out there.
Right.
This is a man stash that you got. You're a man.
Hey, this is
it's not
big
like
backtrack
a little thing
from what you said originally, but
right?
A big backtrack.
A young Keith Hernandez. Yeah. Sure, yeah. Keith Hernandez from Seinfeld, the Mets back in the
back into the left.
Back into the left.
Yeah.
Dave Steeb, sure. I guess. Yeah, I guess, Anthony's right. It does have some 80s porn star vibe as well.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. You take anything but pedophile at this point. Yeah.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, now the chat is coming in with all their opinions. Definitely a Top Gun type of stash. Certainly could see you.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. I could certainly see it. What did Apollo Creed have like a stash when he was running on the beach with Rocky when they're doing like the little race and they hugged? I feel like I remember Apollo Creed with a stash at that time. I don't know why I picture you. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah. This works.
Yeah.
This works. What's not working is anything the Seahawks are doing tonight. Anything the Seahawks are doing. I missed how we got to 1st and 18, but I assume that there was a holding. There must have been an offensive holding, 2 yards downfield. 2 yards downfield. Honestly, that's like the weirdest thing about the NFL. The spot fouls for the holding. There was one today in the Cowboys game as well. Oh, this is the number one. Rod Farva.
Is that
Super Trooper?
Super Troopers, yeah.
This is the one. I was trying to pinpoint it, and that's the one. What do you got on there for a sweater? I can't see that full sweater.
It's just it's like a winter cozy sweater.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna mock it.
All right. I think it kind of goes with a stash. It's kind of like,
yeah,
Brooklyn hipster a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to put on like the fake background though with a big fireplace in the background.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
Should have done that.
that's the old what are we recording in? The StreamYard fake backgrounds, you know?
Yeah.
Got some good ones there. The grand piano, fireplace.
Oh, you can just set. Can I just set one up?
Yeah, I think you should be able to do that. If Kanish could figure it out, anyone can. Believe me. The guy has the IQ of a dumpster. All right.
That's the one he uses, isn't it? Doesn't he use this one?
He uses this one, yeah. Him and Clive Bixby use that one. Yeah, it suits you a lot. It suits you a lot more.
I think there's only 2 options. Oh yeah, there we go.
There's only 2 options
For a virtual background, I think so. Unless I'm
well, maybe there. I've never tried to use a virtual background. I'm rooted in reality, not in the virtual world. Although it could be argued that we all live in a simulation.
Some would say.
Some would say.
What's the name of the guy with that? Who came up with that theory? Blanking on it.
I don't know. I really don't have any knowledge without using Google. It's my fatal flaw. Because I have glasses, people think I'm smart. But really, I'm just very good at using and leveraging Google.
Nick Bostrom.
Can't say I would have ever gotten that. Can't say I ever would have gotten that. I think it's time to break open the scotch, Ian.
Get into it.
Callan 12.
You a big Scotch guy?
I was gifted this last night by a betting partner who was in town from Vancouver. Nice of him. I'm not like G-Stack George where, I drink a bottle a day. Actually, we might need to hold an intervention for that guy at some point. I'll talk to him about that in the fourth quarter today. But yeah, I like to indulge. I like to indulge every now and then.
I can't say I know much about Scotch. Is that a nice one?
So I'm a fan of MacMillan. He knows that
Yeah.
that's like my brand.
Got
I
it.
actually did have someone, a betting partner once. You know what? Doesn't matter if I say this stuff aloud. Back in the day, instead of going to like Montreal to do collections or Ottawa or whatever, people would mail me money, and they would mail them in liquor bottles, right?
Makes sense.
So just be a thing of cash. It's the way to do it. But one time I got a MacMillan 25 bottle and I opened it up expecting it to be cash. It wasn't. It was a bottle of MacMillan 25 that someone gifted me, which I then looked up and is like a $4,000 or $5,000 bottle of liquor.
Oh my! So I was just gonna ask. So is it the higher the number, the better the?
Yeah, it's the how long it's been aged for.
Got it.
So I'm like, dude, why the hell did you send me this? Like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, just drink it or whatever. I'm like, every glass I drink of this is like $500. I can't tell the difference between this and, moonshine. Like I don't have the palate
Right.
to do this, but I did have it and I could marginally tell the difference. Felt like royalty, but I will never do that again. I'll never do that again.
When they sent you money, did anybody ever slip in like a Tom Brady rookie card as an extra thank you for the betting partnership?
In reality, Jacob, the real bettors actually do not settle up in rookie cards when they owe each other money. That's just a
little bit of a thank you or something.
Just a little bit of I don't know where that started, but yeah, let's just say that is it's not real. That if that went over your head, Ian, it's a bit of an inside joke. And when I say inside joke, the joke is Simon Hunter, who we like to regularly talk about.
Got it.
Professional sports bettor, Simon Hunter.
Yes.
Every now and then they owe each other money. Yes. Tom Brady rookie card.
Right. Of course.
That's paid. Yeah, sure. That's, that's the way things work. That's the way things work. Oh, Gino. Is that a safety? Or is that the one? Gino just tripped over his feet, Ian. You'll see it very shortly here.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, he just dropped back the pass and he sacked himself. I've seen a few people sack themselves. Seen Mark Sanchez run into another man's anus. Oh, he tripped over Charbonnet's foot.
AG in the chat brought up my 4-year-old Hungarian son Istvan was devastated about Carissa Thompson. I don't know how you felt about that saga, Rob, but unbelievable. The stain on sideline reporting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
You know what? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not. We could talk this through. I feel bad for all other sideline reporters. I truly do. Do I think the job should exist? Probably not. Like if it were me running a broadcast, I mean, I get why you would want to have someone on the sideline to tell you if players out or whatever here and there. But do you need to go to the sideline reporter for that update? Let's throw it down to the sideline. It's like, oh, we're getting, maybe just put up a graphic on screen, something, anything. But so I don't know, but that sideline reporters need to exist. But if I was a sideline reporter and one of my colleagues is just making up stories, I'd probably be it makes your job look like an absolute joke is what it does.
Wow.
It's why I get offended by the Simon Hunters of the world, Ian. It's like I'm in the same boat here where it's like someone is pretending to do the same as me. And I know that they're not.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's a fair comparison. I mean, she wasn't exactly making up stories. She was giving coach speak, and it was like a coach skipped out on an interview. So a couple times she was just like, yeah, the coach said that they need to try harder in the second half, which is the same thing that every single halftime coach interview is. It's never any different.
But that's my point. That's my point about the sideline reporting as a whole.
Right.
Listen, maybe in the history of sideline report, college football especially, right? They always get the coach running off the field. Oh, we got to be better in the second half. We got to tighten up. We got to take less penalties. Well, it's the same shit. But over time, you get one a year that's like the coach goes off.
Sure.
And it makes it all worth it.
Or if it's like a Mike Leach character.
Yeah. It takes, yeah.
Right.
Ed Orgeron, I think, has had a few.
Go Tigers.
And he sounds like the way he talks makes it funnier.
Right. I didn't have an issue with other sideline reporters getting a little bit upset. To me, it was the other just sports journalists, and they're like, oh, I can't even think. I'm sick to my stomach over this. Oh, I'm going to lose sleep. This stain on journalism is disgusting. I'm like, okay, let's relax. Was it the best thing in the world to do? No, but let's relax a little bit here.
It's like as if someone was actually murdered.
Right.
Yes. Oh, man. Well, listen, I understand that prerogative. I do think it is over the top. I do think it's over the top. Dude, I can't open this bottle, and it's really frustrating me. It's because I've had a lot to drink today. And now I'm trying to open. Maybe this is a sign. It could be a sign from above. Put down the bottle, Rob. Put it down.
I don't think so.
It's got this little... I got to peel this sticker away, and I got no nails, and it's really depressed.
That makes it tough.
Really depressed, man. Really depressed.
Oh! Looked like he was about to throw it.
He did. Out of bounds.
You're right. He did throw it.
Yeah. I was wondering what you were owing about because I did see that play approximately 69 seconds ago.
Right.
I think that's.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to save this one for afterwards about G-String George being the Simon Hunter of. I'll ask him about that afterwards. I'll ask him. I mean, he's given out 2 picks on forward progress. 2. He gave out Seattle +6 when they lost 37-3 to Baltimore.
Ooh.
And today he gave out Washington +13.5.
Ooh.
So the Simon Hunter comps are getting truer and truer by the day. Truer and truer by the day.
Professional sports bettor Simon Hunter.
Allegedly. Jawan Jennings just picked up a nice first down for you, Ian. You're going to be happy when you see this, man.
Beautiful.
He was dead to rights. Dead to rights. I'm incredibly frustrated with this bottle. I'm a cooler Chad Millman. I'll take it. I've met Chad before. He's a good enough guy. He's pretty open and honest with me. So Oh man, this first quarter has flown by. Is it just me? Could be. Could be the liquor.
Hey, first quarters generally go by pretty quick, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there numbers to back that up? Which
quarter
goes by the quickest?
Because there's less timeouts used in the first quarter, right?
It's got to be first and third.
There's no 2-minute warning. Yeah, first and third got to be quick. Hoping for a touchdown here for you before the end of the first quarter, Ian.
Beautiful.
It would be. I won't celebrate it if it happens because I want to get your authentic reaction 2 minutes later. So we'll.
Has Ayuk caught any balls yet? I did sprinkle a little bit on his over receptions. I haven't seen a catch, I don't think.
Brandon Ayuk has not been targeted yet tonight.
Perfect.
Debo's 3 for 56. 3 for 56. It's the end of the first quarter, but you haven't seen it yet, so I'll allow you to stick around as long as you'd like.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Allow you to stick around as long as you like.
Here.
Yeah. It's not going to be a touchdown.
It is certainly not. Oh,
wow! You see that? That's
okay.
MVP type of move right there.
MVP
7-yard loss turns into a 1-yard gain. 1-yard gain. Could have been a lot worse, man. Back in the day, Jimmy G would have fumbled twice on that play.
Oh, 100%.
2 times. He would have fumbled, picked it up, and then threw a pick. That would have been the Jimmy G special.
Rob, I got to get your thoughts before I leave here really quick. I've made a stand this week that the Eagles aren't as good as the record. I think they're a good but not great team. Do you agree with that take, or are the Eagles the best team in the NFL?
No, so I don't think they're the best team in the NFL, but the problem is this year there's no one that sets themselves apart. Like I still think the Eagles are very good. Relative to last year, they may not be as good. It looks a little sloppier and whatever. I still like the Eagles quite a bit.
I mean, their defensive numbers aren't anywhere close to where they were last year.
They're not, but like forward looking, there's still not that many defenses I would take over the Eagles defense. Like they have a defensive line that can generate pressure by rushing 4. In the playoffs, that's massive.
All right.
I don't, it really depends on what people think the Eagles are. To me, San Francisco's the best team in the league. And then you have this number 2 cluster where I would have like KC, Philly, Baltimore, Dallas.
You think Philly belongs in that cluster?
I do.
Okay.
I mean, they just closed 2.5 at KC and won the game. They won the game in, there's like about 1 billion drops again.
Right.
But, yeah. I get it. I get it.
I mean, the Vikings were like 13-3 last year or something like that. So like, I don't think like wins is the best way to evaluate a team.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's the best way to evaluate a team either. But what's the chances of Philly winning the Super Bowl this year? What are their Super Bowl odds? Do we know? Offhand? Anyone know offhand? There's going to be a very high chance you're going to be able to victory lap this at some point this year, Ian. That's what it's all about.
Well, I've made the claim they're going to lose their next 3 games, so that's my chance to victory lap.
Well, it's out there.
Bills, 49ers, and Cowboys.
Okay. I think they're going to crush the Bills this week.
You think so? Okay, interesting.
Part of me think
I'll get a lot of Eagles fans in my DM.
I was off the Bills, and then I got back on the Bills last week, and I'm now ready to get off the Bills again. That's what I'm feeling. Are you still doing Bacon Bets pod?
Yes.
I was going to say tell people where to find it, but they can just easily
Bacon Bets pod. Road to 272 bets. Placing a bet on all 272 games.
What's the overall record right now?
I'm up, I think, 1.2 units.
There you go.
So I am profitable by,
you know what?
Bit of a unit. Do I have I can get the exact record here. But that, I mean, obviously I'm not a pro bettor. My goal when I do this every year is to just finish profitable, finish in the green. So if I can stay the course here, I'll be able to do it. I'm right now Oh, no, that's not the right. I am, well, not including today's games. I did go 2-0 the first two games, but 84, 78, and 2 for plus 1.83 units.
You know what? It's better to win than to lose.
If you're not losing, you're winning in sports betting.
Wow. Let's end on that, Ian. You won't be able to top that.
Beautiful.
You're not losing, you're winning, said Iain MacMillan. Coined that in the year 2023. Even though you're Canadian, I'll still wish you a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. I
appreciate you joining in.
Thank you.
I would say go Falcons, but it's moot at this point.
It's over.
It's all moot. Iain MacMillan, everyone. Always like talking to Ian. Great dude. Good sense of humor. Stash is filling in nice now. Looks like less of a child, more of a man. It's a man stash. But speaking of looking like a child, is G-Stack.
Wow. What an entrance.
I got this bottle of Mac 12.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I can't open it.
Why not?
Maybe I'm like super weak. It's got like I can't peel this sticker off. I don't really know. Is there something special I'm supposed to? I've never had this like type of bottle before.
It's a twist off, but you got to rip off the packaging first. It's like a tape glue.
Yeah, that's the problem I'm having right now. Because I got no nails.
You got no nails.
I need a knife. I don't carry a switchblade in my office like you
use
do.
your teeth. What are you, too bougie to use your teeth?
I just paid like $6,000 for teeth. Like I don't, I do really want this though. I even got, I got the circular, I got the nice circular ice cube here and whatever.
Oh, and it's melting. There's already water.
Yeah, I brought a secondary glass to pour the melted ice. Like I got it all prepped.
Why don't you text?
I can't open the friggin' bottle.
Why don't you text Mrs. P to bring you a knife?
She's in Germany right now.
Oh wow!
Why do you think I'm gonna drink? Why do you think I'm gonna drink half this bottle tonight? Because there's no repercussions. There we go. There we go.
Didn't today feel like a Friday, and then tomorrow's another football game? It just feels like today's a Friday, tomorrow's a Friday, Saturday's a Saturday, and then we get a Sunday as well.
When you mail it in as much as I do, every day feels like a Friday.
Yeah.
Every day feels like a Friday. Oh man, that smells so good. Smells so good.
Rob, congratulations on your Cowboys, man.
Thank you.
Keep ripping teams apart.
You know what, George, in the interest of transparency, just for the people out there.
Yes.
You've given out 2 official tracked bets on Forward Pro. Actually, that's not true. You've given out 3. I was about to bury you for the 2 picks you've given out this year. But I cannot do that because it would be unfair if I didn't mention your Monday Night Football guarantee, which was Vikings 49ers. I have forgotten about that. So I won't bury you.
I'll tell you what, the next time we have a pick show and you say, George, what's your favorite bet? I'm going to say, Rob, give me a game. And you're going to tell me, choose this game between the Giants and the Eagles. And then I'm going to grab a coin and flip it and say the Giants are heads and the Eagles are tails. And that's my best bet of the day. That's what I'm going to do.
Hard-hitting analysis, man.
I'm going to pull out the Brandon Lang for the money.
That scene fucking makes me so nervous, man.
I love that movie. I don't care that Brandon Lang was this tout and scumbag. The whole movie is hilarious to me.
You were the one that gave me the idea. I'm going to mention it live on air now so that if anyone steals it, we can go back to this exact moment at the 1 hour mark, exactly the 1 hour mark of this stream tonight. I will remember that. But the idea of doing a Circles Off episode where we watch historic gambling scenes and react to them, I think is a brilliant idea, especially since Johnny doesn't watch movies. Like he hasn't seen 90%.
So you get his raw first time reaction. That's great.
I think that would be a really, really good episode of Circles Off. So we'll probably try to institute that at some point or another.
I think that'd be a banger episode for sure. That should be, you know what that should be, Rob? That should be like Christmas, Boxing Day, when people are maybe not in the mood to take in some heavy hitting content, that might be the entertainment content episode that you need to do right around Christmas Eve.
So I believe we will have an episode that's going to be releasing on the 26th. I'm trying to look because Thursdays are Thursday, December 28th. And that's likely going to be like a year in review awards show.
Do the week before, the 21st. Everybody will be in that spirit of Christmas.
I don't want to give away too much. Let's see what we're booked until right now. I might do some circles off booking right now with you, George. I think this is a good December 7th. We have a good guest. 14th, 21st, we have a guest as well. Maybe the 14th. 14th, I wanted to do maybe like a big college football person because bowl season is starting.
You could always do the New Year's, right? The New Year's after. People are still in the holiday mood that first week of January.
Yeah. It's worth doing for sure. And of course, I'm glad I ran this idea by you, the idea that I had, and that you said it was
yes.
great.
Absolutely. I said, wow, that is brilliant.
I appreciate you being there for me, George. Gino's arm strength is 0 right now.
I wish we got pictures of this guy on the table all week. That might have changed the betting.
Yeah. He just threw a pick on the sideline to Ambry Thomas, looks like. Let's see if he had possession before he went out of bounds. I think it's going to stand. But I did notice that D. Eskridge did have the run in the play prior as well. D. Eskridge is live. He is live for a touchdown.
You got him for any time. Oh, he had the kick. No, man. Come on.
Don't come in here and talk to me like that.
I actually have to ask you a question. Why isn't Deron Bland the front runner now for Defensive Player of the Year? Like, are we really going to give it to another fucking guy who gets 18 sacks like it doesn't happen every year? The guy literally made history, 5 pick sixes. He's like, and it's not just he's feast or famine. He's got a great grade on PFF. He's doing really good this year.
Yep.
He should be, right? Why isn't he the front runner? We gave it to Stephon Gilmore for a 10-pick season. This guy's returned 5 for touchdowns.
I don't know what to tell you. He was like literally not even talked about prior to this week.
And what's his EPA created on turnovers? It's astronomical now, right?
Yeah. It has to be. Well, let's not start the movement yet. First, we got to get some bets down. Then we'll start the movement.
Be honest.
That's what we're going to do.
Did you look at any books that may have left any awards markets open still? Because I looked and nobody had anything up.
No, I did not. Once the Cowboys started today, I put the phone down for a few hours. Then I came back to the phone to bitch about how the over should be in play, but is not.
It's funny. Both games, right? They were cruising for over, and we had to sweat to the end in our group chat. It's so stupid.
It is so stupid. I will say, Jameel, great bet on the Geno INT. You cash it easily there. There you go. Colby Parkinson was on the field, people. Got to get that one catch for 7 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards. We need 7 yards. 7 yards. In the first quarter, I hate to do this to you, George.
Yeah, go for it.
But I need to get your thoughts on you being the Hammers Simon Hunter.
I don't get the comparison though. I don't. You guys force me to do picks. I don't out there offer what I pick. That's not the type of content I like to do. First of all, I like educational, conversational. I don't claim to be sending runners out on Sunday evenings to bomb books. Like I don't know where the maybe
you've never sent runners with $5,000 worth of cash in duffel bags.
No, I don't even have runners like that to send on a Sunday night. I clearly don't bet at that level. Maybe
clearly you've handled though $5,000 in cash before, right?
Yeah,
you've handled that amount of cash.
I'll go
yes
grab
or no.
I can go grab right now more.
You don't need to prove it. But in your life you've handled $5,000 in cash, correct?
Yeah, just a couple of times.
Would you ever have to put $5,000 in cash in a duffel bag for someone?
No. You can put like 50K in your pockets. What do you
Dude.
need? What do you need a duffel bag for?
I'll weigh in. I've held 3,000 in 20s, 10s, and 5s. Like that. Like easy like that.
Dude, I go
Only
to the
3,000, but in 20s, 10s, and 5s.
When I cross the border into the US, the max is $10,000 before declaring. I always bring $9,990. It fits in your pocket, no problem. The border agent always looks at me like I'm a complete idiot and I get searched. So maybe I should stop bringing that exact amount of money every single time because they're just looking for like one.
What's the perfect amount of getting the most money over the border without looking suspicious?
Like 90.
Yeah.
Obviously, 9,990 is like, okay, something's up.
Well,
It's the bank deposit, right? Because anything over 10 gets flagged to the
Like Carmelo Soprano bringing 39K to the bank of Tony's money.
Well, the thing is, like, they ask me, why is that the amount? It's because, well, if I bring 10,000 or more, I know I got to declare it, and I'm going to gamble, so I want to bring, the max amount of money. And they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense, Mr. Pizzola. Walk over here, please. Search right over here. Sit down, fill out this paper. Same shit every time. You think I'd learn my lesson, but they're trying to catch you like miscounting. You got a wrong, you slipped an extra 20 in there by accident. Oh, now you're over. Guess what? See you later.
They do the same on flights too, right? You have to declare how much cash you have on you, not just driving over the border.
Yeah. Maybe next time I'll just bring a duffel bag with me. Put the money at the bottom there. Put the money at the bottom.
I don't even think I've ever had enough money cash on me to fill a duffel bag. And like, unless I'm to the strip club, right?
What is this guy giving these people $5,000 worth of quarters? Like what?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I don't get the comparison. So we'll leave it at that. I also have never claimed to consult for teams or tell a team that you need to draft Anthony Richardson 3rd overall. I don't have that kind of sway. I'm just the guy who creates content from Toronto that happens to bet.
I'll drop this at some point. I just need to talk about the stupidity of this one more time. You have a guy claiming to be part of an NFL team's draft process and telling them who to draft while he's publicly giving out bets on the draft. How dumb do you have to be? Either it's obviously not real, which is the most likely scenario, minus 5,000 favorite, or you're just mentally, not all there. It's like back in the day, Warren Sharp working for NBC and sending out the anthem prop time as bets to his user base, his following, because he had like a script of the Super Bowl, basically. Timestamps. What are we doing here? How dumb of a human do you have to be? How dumb? Oh, wow. Did DK Metcalf catch that? No, second foot not down. There's a deep pass by Gino over the top.
Oh,
Rob, all right, George.
Can we talk about Jordan Love a little?
Sure. What do you want to talk about? You tell me.
He looks really fucking good, doesn't he?
He does, but he also looked really fucking shit for a while.
I know.
So the likelihood that he's somewhere in between, in my opinion, is very high.
Consider this, though. Post-bye, relatively healthy, and they were the youngest receiving core. Now it looks like, okay, Jaden Reed's a guy, and Watson's a guy.
Yep.
He looks pretty fucking good. And if you remember, like, all of us at the Hammer were like, Green Bay offseason, that was a team we thought had a high upside. All of a sudden, they're 5-6, Robin. Did you see the rest of their schedule?
Yeah.
We're going to get that over 7.5 wins. I don't think we get the division, but
do we get a playoff rematch? Maybe Packers Lions round 1.
Listen, the D line looked ferocious too. The pass rush. Jared Goff had no clue that there was a pass rush behind him. I don't know how you fumble 3 times. Jared
Goff has like 3 of those games a year, right? The deer in the headlights game you're like, that was one of those games, man. That was one of those games where it's just like you could tell from the early going, and it's not going to be a good one. I'm just quickly looking at some of my metrics here on
Jordan Love.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Quality of competition matters. So all 4 the last 4 defenses he's played, I believe, are worse than the market rating on them.
Yeah, Steelers perception of them. Yeah, Detroit perception of. Yeah,
Chargers, Rams.
But
Yeah.
he's eliminated the ugly. He's still not consistent. I was talking to Clark about this week. He's still like he's always flashed the good, but he also flashed the ugly. He's gotten rid of the ugly. If he can get a touch more consistent, Green Bay might have something there.
It's possible. A lot of people could get rid of the ugly, though. G-Stack. Kanish. B1.
Kanish's segment was something else. My group chat was going nuts for it.
Dude, you know what? People in the chat are like, oh, Pizzola must be pissed or whatever. Like, honestly, as soon as I saw him join the weight room,
yeah,
I could just see like a black. I couldn't tell he was in bed. All I could see was just like his face, really dark. I'm like, what the fuck's going on with this guy's lighting or whatever? And I was waiting a couple minutes for him to like fix it, and then I noticed nothing was changing, so I just brought him in, and that's when I realized that he was in bed. What else do I expect? I mean, Kanish,
no bet put in the sheet, lines to whatever. It just Kanish was in Kanish form today.
He's a one of a kind, man. He doesn't read company emails. He's very entertaining. I love it. I love Hit the Books. I watch Hit the Books every week. It's really good.
Me too. I don't even watch college football religiously, but I love their show.
I'm barely betting any college football at all. Yeah, and I'm watching. I'm entertained.
I love
the chemistry is great. But Kanish is like the absolute whichever company he works for in real life. I've said this before, but he's got to be the worst employee on the planet. This guy, there's no way he is giving the company the value of what they're paying him. Like, not a single chance in hell that's happening.
You know, like, he's late, inconsiderate, but he's got enough charm and redeeming qualities about him that you forgive him. It's like, all right, we'll give you a pass.
One day, Kanish is going to get me canceled, and I'm very well aware of it. I'll bookmark this time as well. Minute 13. I will be canceled because of Kanish one day. What the hell was the tweet today with get rid of the white meat and bring in the dark meat? Jared Goff, Teddy Bridgewater tweet. Kanish, man.
I don't know, man.
What are we doing here, man? What are we doing? It's a good thing the Hammer's not big enough to have a real HR yet, because I would have been called into the HR office very quickly.
Oh.
But the guy is, he doesn't mean anything by anything he says.
No, I think just a really good guy at heart that sometimes, I don't know, man, or, posting girls from the World Cup that he'd like to date, just what the fuck?
What? He stands for everything, though, that I think is important, which is just being real and authentic.
Yeah.
Like, he puts on, every now and then he's got the tough guy thing, but he has tweeted about, social anxiety and stuff like that. And he's like real about it and he owns it. So, I mean, I respect him quite a bit. When will he come on Circles Off? Little known fact, but he has been on Circles Off prior to us going live on YouTube. So we had him on in podcast form before. At some point, we will see Kanish on Circles Off again. Just not
you should now, right now, that because when you first talked to him, there was some memorable moments from there about his etiquette when he walks his dog. But there was other good stuff in there, and I think if you did another episode or rehash with him now, years later, I think it could be really good.
Yeah, I think so too. Listen, I'm very confident in my interviewing abilities and my ability to get the most out of guests. I'm sure we could do. I already have some ideas of stuff we could do with him that I think would be, draw, interesting, but got to let it breathe a little bit, That's the thing. I don't want to overuse talent, especially Kanish. He's going to be asking for overtime. He's going to be like, I'm going to need, to swap out an episode to hit the books. Like getting this guy to, he's literally calling in from bed. Would it have been that tough for the guy to get out of bed and just go to his camera and his mic, which we've provided for him, and just sit there for 5 minutes and then go back to bed? Would this have been all that challenging?
No. And you got him in the late spot. Like, he wasn't even early 9 o'clock. Like some of us were like, all right, let's, what do you want? You want to bet? Let's see what's out there, into like very efficient lines.
That's it. Big 3rd and 6 here in the game. I've had my eyes on this the whole time. Bobby Wagner's been racking up some tackles for whoever bet that over. But let's see. They have guys wide open all the time.
Yeah, he's 100% the best schemer.
Like, how do you get Deebo Samuel wide open on a crossing route? Like, I don't really understand. Because it's the Ayuk brings all the defense with him, running over the middle of the field. Deebo comes underneath, and it's just like,
and these guys aren't technically fast. Like, they're like, obviously my guys get open in Miami, but like Tyreek Hill's touchdown last week, he caught a slant post type thing, and there were 6 guys behind him, and he still burned everybody deep. That's pure speed. Shanahan just schemes everybody wide open. It's insane.
And this touchdown that McCaffrey just scored was also insane, because he was dead to rights, like 3 yards in the backfield, and still ended up getting in the end zone. This scary good team, man. Scary good team.
This Seattle defense is a little bit fugazi. The last month or so has really, really, really shown how fugazi they are.
Well, okay, so they lost last week to the Rams. I don't think people realize how big of a loss that was to the Rams last week, because their schedule coming up next week, they play Thursday Night Football at Dallas. Then they go on the road to San Francisco in a rematch of this game. Then they return home, but they get the Eagles.
Wow.
So they're going San Fran, Dallas, San Fran, Philly in 4 weeks.
We could be talking about like a 6-8 team before we know it.
Exactly. Like that loss was big loss last week.
What's the NFC playoff picture? Can we pull that up? Because I was talking about this today with the person I was watching football with, that like if Green Bay got into the playoffs, I don't know that Detroit would want to see Green Bay in a rematch. Today was a little bit eye-opening that Detroit's warts are pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, and this is what I was talking about at the end of the first quarter with Ian. There's a real problem with every team.
Yeah. There's no I think San Fran's the closest to perfect.
I agree, because San Fran's, like, when San Fran went into that losing streak, it was stud left tackle out, Debo out, McCaffrey like
banged up.
Yeah. Now at full health, you're like, it's a pretty damn good team.
The only thing you could say is like maybe an elite passing attack might give them problems, but how many elite passing attacks are left? Dallas might have one of the best passing attacks in football, because my God, Dak has been something else.
But when they played San Fran at full health, they got annihilated in that game.
Yeah,
they got annihilated.
Yeah,
Jacob, when we get a chance, can you just pull up a NFL playoff picture so we can just go through the teams, specifically NFC if we got one? Because I would like to look through that.
Like, we know Dallas is going to be the 5 seed, and they're going to get to beat up whoever wins the NFC South. After that, it gets spicy on where the potential matchups are.
Dallas needs the Bills to beat the Eagles this week, because then Dallas will have another game against Philadelphia at home at some point, and there's a chance. But I'm with you. That's going to be an inherent challenge. But yeah, I mean,
they asked, what does San Fran Philly close? I've got San Fran power rated higher by a point right now on a neutral.
I think that's pretty fair. I think that's pretty fair. I think if I look at the fluctuation over the course of the year, in their market power rating. Yeah. No issues with that.
All right, let's look at this. So Dallas versus Saints or Falcons, whoever wins.
Yeah, and that's like, what are we looking for? What are we looking at for a spread in that game? Cowboys are what, like 6 to 6.5 points better than
Cowboys
league average team.
Cowboys will be favored.
The
Probably
Cowboys are going to be like 6-point favorites on the road.
Yeah. You have to. Otherwise, you're just going to get hit with too much Cowboys money.
Well, we had the Dallas at Tampa last year, round 1, and Dallas -3. Everyone betting Dallas.
Yeah.
They won very handily. I don't think that's going to be.
So
Saints
right
are
now,
worse.
the Vikings are currently 7th. Who's underneath them, though, Jacob? Like, who's got a chance to – you see, I don't think people want the Packers to sneak in. Like, if Detroit's the 2 seed, I don't think they want to see the Packers round 1. I think they're vulnerable against Seattle and Minnesota, too. I don't know.
So let me look at the Packers schedule coming up here. So you mentioned it earlier. What
After
you remember
Casey's very difficult, Rob, and the next 6 after that are very winnable. Like, they're over under 7.5, and I think we're gonna get there. Jacob, if you pull up the Packers remaining schedule, it's unbelievably easy.
I got it in front of me. So they host KC, which is not a foregone conclusion that they lose.
No.
But at the Giants, home to the Bucks, at the Panthers, at the Vikings, home to the Bears is how they finish the season. Yeah.
Right. Tell me you're not feeling good about 7.5 wins now, Rob. We're at 5-6. We were dead money 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty good that they get us 3 wins here.
So do I. So they are currently 5-6.
Yeah.
So they'd be at 8 wins.
Yeah. If they go 3-3, if they beat, Giants, Panthers, and then one of the Bucks, Vikings, Bears.
Is 8 wins good enough to get in the playoffs? So we've established that the Seahawks are going to have, should they lose, I mean, the Seahawks are going to be underdogs in the next 4 games.
Yeah.
Or next 3 after this. There's probably an outside chance that Green Bay does get in. And in the most likely scenario is that they'd end up playing Detroit, I think, right now.
I would love for that third match. That would be nice division rivalry. Knish nervous.
Yeah.
Especially because both games were like, I know today's game tightened up and technically Detroit shot themselves in the foot a bunch, but Green Bay was comfortably ahead. Like, there was no thought of them losing for basically most of the second half.
Yep. Yeah.
It'd be an interesting game.
Okay. Packers are better than Seattle. Of this version of Seattle that I'm watching, yes. But if you gave me a pick 'em between the 2 teams right now, I'd almost surely take Seattle.
Yeah, especially with Packers injury. We need to see Jair back and Devondre Campbell back. I'm surprised how well their defense played today.
Yeah. I'm
with
you.
We expected offense. That was one thing, we were talking about, the Lions defense being shit. And then I think we've talked about maybe Green Bay's flipped the switch and being profiling as an under team to an over team the last few weeks.
Yep. This is like a horrible. The Seahawks have 15 total yards with 3 minutes to play in the second quarter here. They have -3 passing yards today, net passing yards. 1.1 yards per play. G-Stack. 1.1. Embarrassing.
That's not very good, is it?
It's not very good.
You'd need 9 downs to convert. No. Rob, how come
9 wouldn't get you a first down?
You need the
9.9 yards. You need to go for it on 10th down.
Rob, what's going on with you and Eric? Your trivia matchup. Everybody wants to know. Are you putting off the smoke for as long as you can? Is this a strategic thing?
Everybody wants to know is a very interesting way to put it, George. There's probably like 3 people that want to know. Okay. In addition to the regular content that I do for the Hammer, I also do run the company. And sometimes that gets in the way of being able to do additional content. I'm not trying to dodge Eric. In fact, I would like to get that out of the way as soon as humanly possible because I already know the way that it's going to end up. So I'd like to get it out of the way, but I haven't been able to. There's been some board meetings in the past couple weeks that I've had to attend to. You know, talking about big vision stuff for the Hammer right now. What we're going to do. Are we going to start an OnlyFans? We're talking about all this stuff, right? So I've had to postpone the Eric Eager stuff.
So I guess
pull that back up, Jacob.
Mine and Jeff's episode will come out tomorrow then.
I believe that's the one that's coming out tomorrow.
So that is the one coming out tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay. I still don't think anyone can beat Eager. I mean, it can happen. We got to think probabilistically, though.
I do. There's some quizzes, Rob. Like when I faced Jason, it was like most passing touchdowns, highest in a season, and the difference between number 2 and 8 was 3 touchdowns. So like the skew is, you know, the range of a guy, but you don't know if the guy threw 37 or 34. So the variance of, you know, picking the right guy in order, I think there's enough quizzes that there creates some level of variance. That's why I think Eric can be beaten on stuff that's really close together.
Having watched all of them, the people that are left are very much just picking apart the top of the board as well. Like Hitman will give Eager, if it is Eager that he does face, Hitman will give him a
wow.
Well, no confidence in you, Rob.
It's all right. I don't have confidence in myself. So
I said if. I corrected myself. If he faces Eager.
I mean, RJ will back me at plus 1,500. I'd take myself at plus.
What I make you?
A real RJ Bell.
I highly doubt it, but I mean, the real Fezzik is in here sometimes. So
I think I made you plus like 370 or something, Rob.
Yeah, horrible line by the odds maker. That's a recreational book line right there. You should have waited for the sharp books to open up.
So far, as the odds maker, I would say I priced Hitman and Suma. Actually, I made Hitman favorite, even though he's a lower seed, but I didn't make him as much of a favorite as he should have been.
I'd like to hear what your hypothetical. You know how GRP has hypothetical lines for playoff matchups that are not set yet. What's the hypothetical lines? Hitman versus Pizzola or Hitman versus Eager, and then Cleve versus myself or Cleve versus Jeff. What are the hypothetical lines there?
Okay, so Hitman was really good. Has been very good so far.
You got to remember he digs in player props. Like
you have. Okay, I'll also say when I'm making this line, I obviously hammed it up with Rob's line as a bit of a joke.
Yeah.
The rest I did as serious as possible. So if Hitman was against Eager would be favorite, but it wouldn't get to minus 200. I probably, like, top of my head, minus 160.
Wow.
Even then,
Eager
though, I'm thinking,
against me minus 160.
No, against Hitman.
Come on.
Yeah.
Are
all
we?
Right. So,
Let's
even then, that might
minus
feel
160 for the max. Where can I get down at this book?
I think minus 225.
Minus 160 is 62%.
I think there's a little bit
5
more.
and 8.
I think there's a little bit more variance than you guys are kind of making.
All right. What about Rob versus Hitman? Who's the
Rob versus Hitman? Hitman,
Rob would be coming off an Eager win, though. You got to remember that.
That means he's dual loss, George. Come on.
No. But George is right. This is how the NCAA tournament works. If you're going to do sims of tournaments, that if somebody upsets high seed, they get propped up in market.
If you were to pick apart the top of the board, like Cleve in his match or TA in his matchup, he finished one where he had the entire top 4 on the quiz. That's very impressive. So that makes me upgrade him for the next one. So if you come out and Eager does well, but you just flat out do better, then that would change things. But right now,
my match against Johnny, I never had to actually go for the top 4 because he fared so poorly that I could make safe, just not fuck it up.
What would your line be? I actually think it'd be like minus 110 either side.
For Hitman and Rob?
Yeah, I do. I mean, if Rob gets through Eager, I think it's a coin flip at that point.
Because I've seen Hitman do like Hitman was really, really good
Oh,
against
do
Suma.
you think Rob's gonna beat Eager because Eager picks the
No.
bottom four and Rob
That's true. That's true.
picks
I'd have
five?
to-
Rob's
that's
gonna
true.
have to
If
look
Rob
top tier
wins,
to
then he would
win.
have to be incredible. That's a good point. I'd still make Hitman favorite.
Like what? Like minus
You make a
one?
good point though. If Rob gets there, if they were to face right now, then I'd probably have Hitman. I'd probably have Hitman about 150, 160. But you're right. If Rob wins, it's because he did amazing against Eager, because Eager's going to do well regardless. I'd still probably make Hitman favorite, but I probably have minus 120 there.
What about Cleve versus Jeff and Cleve versus myself?
Versus you. So TA against me, he didn't do that well, but he didn't have to do that well, to be fair. And Rob is right. If he had to do well, maybe he does amazing. But he was really, really good against Moretto. Moretto just got plowed in that one.
Moretto's used to.
All right.
pushed
Against
around.
you, I still make TA favorite. I'll probably go 130, 140. Against Fienberg, I'd probably go closer to. I'd probably go minus 200, probably like the floor for that one. With all due respect to Jeff.
Vinny Chase says sharp money would be in on the dog. I love you, Vinny. That's
Incorrect.
That's my scumbag. That's my scumbag.
He said Shrap money.
Trap money. That's right.
So the underdog, by the way, betting wise, let's say, has only won once. Only the lower seed has only won twice. It was the 9 versus the 8, which was Rob and Johnny, and it was the 5 versus the 4, which was Hitman and Suma. But I said Hitman was a favorite despite being a 5 seed.
That was bad seeding. I forgot that Suma only really became a football fan like 10 years ago. He has no pre-existing knowledge of anything NFL.
We had priors on Suma though. We saw him beat George already.
Wow.
Hitman, we didn't know really.
I'll have you know. He squeaked out a 3-gamer in which
I know that's why you were higher. I mentioned that.
Gave him the upper edge, and then
Seahawks are unserious.
The Seahawks are an unserious franchise. Dude, this is not who. First of all, Tariq Woolen's been benched in this game, first and foremost. Second thing, who fielded this punt?
Did Clive give out the 49ers team total over? If his bet hits in the first half, Clive is awesome.
Was it DJ Dallas? I gotta see who this was.
Who's 31?
Because whoever fielded this punt should never play in the NFL ever again. The laziness to just
it's Dallas.
DJ Dallas.
That guy's thinking about Thanksgiving dinner.
What in the fuck was that?
That guy's already thinking about the meal after the
Giants
game.
need to sign that guy. They need
What
punt returners.
In God's name was he? Okay, it's one thing to muff the punt, but then he tried to pick it up, like, and he tried to do it in the most like he had. Basically, like he had spent 8 hours in the gym today doing back exercises. Like he literally could not reach down. It was the slowest I've ever seen anyone try to pick up a ball.
It looked like you try to pick it up.
Yes, it did. It did. It looked like an unserious, non-professional athlete. Unfortunately, we need DJ Dallas to come in and get the last touchdown of this game. But he's going into the medical tent right now. Might never come out.
All right. So on the quizzes, back to this. One thing I wanted to, I talked to one of the creators of Draft Party, and perhaps going to 6 answers instead of 4 for the semifinals onwards limits the variance and allows for a little bit more knowledge to come into play. What do you guys think about that?
I don't mind that at all.
It's still only 6, like it's 12 picks out of 25. So it's like, I like it. It's not like too much of the quiz. It's not like, CFL where 80% of the leagues make the playoff, and 80% of the teams make the playoffs.
Here's my problem with it. I prefer to actually go to 8 because at least then you get a true snake.
Okay.
Because if you do 6, you don't get a true snake. You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah. So I think 8 for semis and finals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That would be the way I would go. And then round 2 of this thing, we take the seedings and we make it a tag team tournament.
Tag team. So would people get to pick their partners, or would we force Knish and Moretto to team up?
You know what? I'm thinking the latter. But we should figure out a good way to do it. But I think a tag team event could be interesting.
Okay.
I think that is a good idea.
Yeah. We need real we have rivalries within the Hammer, but it's by brand, right?
I think you and Eric would be good. You guys have a little bromance. You'd be a good little team right there.
Me and Eric,
don't let Rob choose.
Rob and Eric.
If it's me and Eric, you guys might as well. It's good night on this. Milf Hunter. Milf Hunter figured it out.
Exactly. You know what? I think about it. You could do the rivalry thing, the Moretto and Kanish. You do the scumbag team, me and Hitman, you know?
Yeah.
You do the international team. We pair Sumo with somebody else.
Well, we could go heavy. We could go heavy hitters. We could go with all the heavy hitters and do like a round robin group stage. That'd be insane. There's lots of ways we can do it. Maybe we'll ask the community how we should go about it. How we should go. Is Pete Carroll going to use a timeout, or is he just going to let the clock run? He's just going to let it go. Oh, he got it. He got one in.
So far, the bracket, I think, has done a great job of community building. I think that's the best thing it's done. Because people involved are really bought in, especially at this stage.
That's it. I love watching those things.
Me too. They're
oh wow,
injury report day on Friday, and it's nice. It's nice content.
I agree.
We could even do a Survivor Series, Rob, us versus the Action Network.
You know what? Fuck, that would be amazing.
It would be.
Just get like 4 or 5 brands involved.
You get unabated,
Book It, Barstool, Action, PFF.
We get pregame.
I mean, we got RJ and Fed. Does Hitman work for the Hitman team or the pregame team?
Hey, Hitman could be like Sting. What is he in the NWO? Is he in WCW?
It's like international soccer. You know, when you're really good, do you play for the Italian team or the Brazilian team? You got to pick one or the other. You can't play for both.
Yeah.
Can't play for both. Yeah. I think we'll figure it out.
Let's do a round robin. I like this. Then we have the draw for the knockout rounds.
Oh my God. Drawing of the balls.
Oh yeah. Like Champions League style.
Oh, you know,
we put them
one thing I wanted to do as well for the final of the Hammer trivia bracket, I want to do it live.
I agree. I like live.
Not pre-recorded, edited. I want it live, uncut.
I think it's a great idea. We do the Friday 1:00 live.
I'll just fly Eager into Toronto now. So we'll pick the date that we're going to record it.
I didn't mean in person. I meant like just a live stream instead of a pre-recorded.
No, we fly Eager into Toronto. We jump him like the Nancy Kerrigan type of thing, you know, kneecap him with a pipe or something like that. And then someone has to come in and be a hero and take his place. Last minute, lay it with Luke comes in to take over Eager's spot.
It sounds like a movie. You know what else was a movie, Rob? Greg Popovich telling the crowd to stop booing last night. Kawhi Leonard. This guy must have watched one too many Disney movies when he busted out we're not like this. This is not who we are.
Yo,
what the fuck was that?
Pop is the teacher at the high school who's got like so much tenure. He can put his fucking feet up on the desk, do whatever he wants. He ain't getting fired. He ain't getting in trouble. That's Pop.
He's the guy that can take a shit in a bag and drop it in the hallway. And he's not getting suspended. Like Steve Poloni did in my high school back in the day. Hope you're okay, Steve.
So this crossed my mind actually, but I don't think
come
back like you are.
Wow. You know what?
Alex, I think you're on to. I think I heard his keyboard clattering during your matchup. I heard.
No, that was just Moretto's vibrator.
Oh man,
it has to be asked though, and it is fair. It is a fair question. We might have to get Cleve to turn on the camera and put on like a clown mask or something.
The anonymous mask.
Yeah, the anonymous.
All I know
we could do some sort of bag match. You know, if it's a Hitman Cleve TA finals, Hitman wears the paper bag because of the shame of his picks, and Cleve wears the clown mask. It is a fair question by Moretto, I will say. I know obviously Alex is a sore loser, but it also is a fair question.
No, I think Alex might have been taken advantage of. I'm with him, and if I'm lucky enough to get by Geoff, I'm gonna exert some revenge for my fellow scumbag.
Well, listen, this is the first iteration of this tournament. There will be better ones to come, but maybe Cleve. Maybe we have to ban him permanently going forwards. We have no grounds to stand on, but maybe we just have to. Maybe we just have to say sorry, Cleve. The committee has determined that we heard some keyboard noises in the background. Your camera wasn't on. Moretto's mad. We're just going to have to advance Moretto. And that's it.
Is this first half still going on? Is there a game happening?
Dude, it's 24-3.
It looks like one team scrimmaging.
Well, it basically is. Gino's losing it on the sideline with his coaching staff. DK Metcalf's calming him down. Tariq Woolen has been benched. It's a disaster. And all of this, I might bet Seattle second half.
I was going to ask if, George, you had anything on this game that you're sweating.
No. I had 3 bets today, and I gave out the losing bet. So that's just par for the course.
Oh, the ones you didn't give out, though. Personal ones. Those ones won, though.
Yeah, of course.
I don't really
I'll let chat know. I in the first quarter, it was like a 1st and 18 for this 49ers. I played the live 49ers line at 10.5.
Unless you've got to print it out ticket.
Did you at least write it down in your portfolio?
Yeah, I have it.
I don't see it in a notebook, then I don't believe
I have it. Betstamp verified.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it just it's too bad they don't let you edit in Betstamp. It's a damn shame. Let me edit my bets and the prices I get.
So stupid. Like, what if I want to change my bet after I made it?
What
if I bet it for a friend and it auto-tracked? I didn't specify until after the fact.
You ever see content creators do that? They give out a play on like Thursday, and then Saturday they quote tweet it and say, "Canceled. We're actually betting the other side."
Oh yeah,
that's not how it works, man.
Unit upgrade, yeah. Oh no, that's the worst. Listen, here's one of my pet peeves is when people say that they're buying out of a bet, but they do not track the VIG of both bets.
Yeah,
like you don't get to just make the bet disappear, people. If you bet San Fran in the game and you no longer like it and you want to buy out and bet Seattle, it's not like, oh, it's a wash, here we go. If you go cash out that bet at your sports book, you're not going to get the same amount back from earlier, first and foremost. Second of all, the VIG counts. You're paying VIG twice. It's minus 0.2 units.
This is why I hate like giving out pick culture. And I know that you got to feed the beast, and like anything with picks and predictions gets clicks and attention. But fuck, I hate it. And then everybody's like quick with the green check mark, victory lap. I fucking hate it. You know how much I hate stuff like that, Rob. Whenever someone wins in our trivia, the winner usually comes in the chat and say, and lets everybody know, right?
Yep.
See, Geoff and I are gentlemen. Nobody in the chat knows what happened in our matchup. We don't victory lap. We're not, we're gentlemen, and that's what I hate about.
Some people go in and say they got smoked. Like Moretto immediately went in the chat and said, "I got smoked."
Yeah, he wants to control the narrative.
Yeah,
it was actually way worse than that.
That's high level PR. I'm getting ahead of it.
I like it better when it's even the people in the tournament don't know until the Friday at 1.
I agree. Next time we're going to put in a stipulation. We're signing contract NDAs basically beforehand.
I also tweet it without the result. I always say, "Oh, who won?" Right? Because I don't want to spoil it for maybe in 3 hours after I'll go back and say, "Hey, won. Check this out."
You know what, George? You get it, man. What I appreciate about you as a person, I'll rag you sometimes. I'll make some jokes about how you look like an 8-year-old boy, herpes, whatever. I'll make the jokes. But you get it. You truly understand it. I don't have to come to you and be like, George, promote it this way or whatever.
Yeah.
You get it. Suma, on the other hand,
Yeah,
dude, you're
this
quote
guy-
tweeting, you're telling everybody you won, you lost, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, make them watch the video, dude.
He even threw a Germany's better than Greece, that fucking asshole, and
What
like,
a fucking jerk, man.
Just a jerk.
What was this field goal, by the way? Jesus
Flag.
Christ. Did this even... Oh, here's a brawl. Here's a brouhaha. I will say, though, George, unfortunately, you're ragging on the Green Checkmark Brigade.
Mm-hmm.
You know who's sponsoring this show? You know who sponsors us?
Yeah.
Pinnacle Sportsbook pays the bills.
And they've joined the Green Checkmark Brigade today, too.
Green
Have you
Checkmark gang.
I'm just mad they couldn't green checkmark my shitty bet. That's my real beef here, Rob.
Pinnacle coming in hot, giving Johnny the green check marks for his Montgomery unders from today. The green check marks. Pinnacle Sportsbook. Follow them on Twitter at Pinnacle. But you know what? Sometimes it's important, man. Sometimes it's important. Dan giving us the green check marks right now in the chat. But that's the last time. That's strike one, George. You're not going to put down our You're not going to put down our sponsors on my watch.
I won't. Rob, once upon a time, I deactivated my Facebook a week before my birthday because I just didn't want the birthday wishes, and then I reactivated in January. Just didn't want the fucking.
I used to change my birthday to a month before it so I wouldn't get the messages.
I hate it. I'm so private. I'm like,
I just hate it because it's the people that I only hear from once a year. Like I'd rather you just don't message me. I hear from them once a year on my birthday. I mean, I'd rather just not hear from you.
Yeah.
This sounds very stuck up, actually, now that I'm saying it out loud. Like, oh my God, so many people are saying happy birthday to me that it's annoying. But
you're gonna miss it one day, Jacob, when you're old and people don't.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe I gotta come off this position a little bit, but just that's so. I'd rather you just don't say anything.
Guys, I've reached the point of the primetime game where I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna do another hour and a half of this game, man?
You have the anytime and the last TD bet.
Rob, it's the all day too. Like at least on Thursdays and Mondays, you have other shit going on. You've been watching 10 hours straight of football. And
I'm broken, man.
And the last game is the dud.
I'm beat down. I went through a lot of emotions today rooting on that Cowboys over. Like I lost years of my life on a winning bet today.
If
just
only
yelling at Eric Bieniemy, just yelling at the TV screen. What do you do? I'm like, Eric, what are you doing? You want a head coaching job? This is how you're going to coach? You're going to call all these running plays? I'm just yelling.
It was awful.
It's brutal, man. It was brutal. It was brutal to watch. Speaking of brutal to watch, Eric Eager going to join us here in a second as well. Eric?
How's it going, guys?
How's your Thanksgiving going?
It's going well. Jordan Love didn't throw an interception, so that was nice.
There you go. There's you cashed.
Did you green check mark your bet there, Eric? You should.
Okay, did I run it by Zilbert?
No, we need to here. We're George gets upset when people victory lap their wins. But we are in the football betting content business.
Yeah.
You win your bets. We got to start with the green check marks on Twitter, man. Jordan Love, no INT. Easy as it gets. Bang, bang. Green check mark, green check mark, green check mark. Easy
100%.
tweet. Lots of engagement. We all retweet it, one another. Instead, typically what happens with Hammer creators is we publicly make fun of each other and rip each other for losing bets.
Yeah.
Notice I went with the Lions Restore the Roar t-shirt. It says Restore It on the back. That my intern got me last year. And the good luck ran out today.
I like how you slipped in that you had an intern last year. That's
I did.
That's a power move.
But no, like Kanish doing the show from his bed, trying to do it on the phone, trying to look up odds on his phone while also navigating StreamYard and then just giving out Lions. Just giving out Lions any price is
Anything.
about as funny as it gets.
My producer Jason is messaging me after the show. He's like, "What do I lock in for Kanish? Like, what do I track?" I'm like, "I don't know." He didn't give a bet. He basically just said, like, bet the Lions any which way that you want. Everything which would have lost, by the way. First quarter, first half, full game, any divisional futures, whatever teasers, they all lost. But he didn't give an official bet, so I don't even know to say that he lost.
The division future loses by George's method of counting, right? Because the equity went down. That still might win, but by George, what was it? GP wins on Twitter. That's the equity went down on that one.
Yes, it has been reported though by Nicholas. Clarissa Thompson reports Eager did not win the bet. Actually.
All right, I'm leaving. That's a great note to leave on. Eric, happy Thanksgiving. Rob, you as well, and congratulations on your win today.
Thank you very much. G-Stack George, everyone. G-Stack George. Yeah, that's I don't think the Carissa Thompson stuff's gonna get old for a while. It's Harambe took us like 9 months to get over the Harambe stuff. I kind of see this like that.
Yeah. Two different ends of the spectrum, but similarly memeable.
Now, you were in the Cincinnati area for a while. Did you ever see Harambe at the zoo? Did you bring the kids to visit the Cincinnati zoo?
I think I moved before Harambe died.
Tough break.
All right, sorry. I moved after Harambe died, so I never really got to see Harambe, but
you didn't get to know him. You didn't
get to know him at all. I ever got. What's that?
You didn't get to know Harambe at all.
No, I wish I did. It's
tough. It's tough. I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna have a drink.
What's the second half line here, Rob?
Yeah, for Harambe. By the way, I don't know if you're drinking, Eric. If you want to pop a gummy or something for Harambe. Second half line.
Maybe I'll take one after for Harambe. But yeah.
What do we got here? Let me pull up my book. Pinnacle. I honestly, this is the least interested I might have been in a football game for the entirety of the season. This has been a tough watch.
Gino had 2 completions at the 2-minute warning of the first half.
They had 15 net yards. They had 1.1 yards per play before that final drive.
How did they get? So they got a field goal because of a kick return by DJ Dallas, which is a porn name, by the way. That's not a football player. That's a porn star.
That is, but you have to take that up with his parents. But DJ Dallas, while that was a nice EPA play, he ends up probably with a negative EPA in the first half because he did fumble that punt return in what was maybe the laziest effort to ever recover a muffed punt that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I actually think Seattle's defense is not playing egregiously right now. There's some good individual plays by San Francisco, but I don't think the scheme is that bad, and I don't think that Seattle is they're not giving up huge plays over and over and over again. It's just that they're getting zero help from the offense. They're not getting off the field. It's pretty rough.
Second half line at Pinnacle, San Fran -0.5 plus 105. San Fran -122 on the money line, and the total is 20.5, but it's being bet pretty aggressively towards the under right now. It's being pretty, yeah.
Yeah, I can see under being.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. That there was the comment in the chats by Jay saying, imagine be the kid who got Harambe killed. But we don't have to imagine that much. We can ask Kanish what it was like to kill a lion or a pack of 53 lions today with his play.
You know what? At the end of the day, oh yeah, sorry. We have to point out it wasn't DJ Dallas with the return. It was Eskridge with the return. Important distinction because it was a kick return.
Oh, on the kickoff return. But Dallas fumbled the punt, right?
Correct. Okay.
I've
bet on both of these guys anytime. I bet D. Eskridge anytime touchdown today at part of the stream. He was a shoestring tackle away. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What was your play on the pregame show? Forgot.
Oh, Colby Parkinson over 5.5 receiving yards.
Has he played tonight?
Yeah,
I've been kind of monitoring that one a little bit.
We've seen him on the field quite a bit, but unfortunately,
So
you have to be able to
dump off here.
Yeah, you need to be able to complete a forward pass, which is extremely challenging for the Seahawks right now, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's they're efforting in that regard, for sure.
Yeah. Drew and Andy are drunk and they're betting the under on their live. Doesn't surprise me. I mean, that's probably the way I would look.
I saw Andy at halftime of the last game again, like laying in his bed, just like, sprawled out. So I think you're actually being in your own studio, Rob. Like you're the most formal like live stream that there is.
It's tough. I did open a bottle of scotch and I'm drinking it. We'll see how much I get through. Drank quite a bit during the Cowboys game today. Although, you know what? I'm before I started the stream, I came on and I told Jacob, I'm like, listen, man, you're going to have to bear with me tonight type of situation, but I'm feeling okay right now. Feeling pretty good. It's just the game has been trash. That's what makes it tough. I just want a game. Give me a game.
Yeah, back and forth. Even the close games in the NFL are boring right now. Isn't that like that's the crappy part about the gameplay in the NFL is even the games that are like not this game, but like Dallas versus Washington, game goes over, thank goodness, right? All this stuff, but it wasn't a good game. Like, when's the next time we're going to get like a 43-40, Chargers, Lions kind of game? Like that's tricky.
Give me a 47-42 Ravens-Browns game where one of the starting quarterbacks has to go take a shit mid-game and everyone's wondering what the hell's going on.
And Baker runs out of the back of the end zone to fuck up my +3, right?
I was on the I imagine if I was on air that night, I probably would have canceled streams for the next month if that had happened while I was on air. Holy God.
Well, we've almost missed an epic one for the ages, Detroit, Chicago, right? Because that ball that Hutchinson stripped out of Fields' hand, that was laying right in the end. Like that guy kicked it out to cover all the teasers,
dude.
But
you know what, Eric?
They could have covered the spread with the defensive touchdown.
He didn't even intentionally kick it out, though, which was the best part. He unintentionally just was running towards the ball and it like bounced into his leg, because I was gonna have a heart attack in that game. Like I was gonna die.
Aiden like tried to push him past the ball and accidentally pushed him into the ball.
Yeah,
and
it just bounced off his shin, went out of bounds. Yeah, that was something else.
Yeah, that one we haven't had like fuckery like that this year, right? Like even I think the last bout of we did that with Mac Jones and the Raiders Pats. That one was pretty bad, but that wasn't like the end of the game. Like, remember last year, Week 18, where it was Jets Dolphins, and that ball like went out of the back of the end zone, and they covered all the 3.5s.
Yeah,
that was probably the last one of those that's happened.
You've quickly blocked out the Nelson Aguilar situation.
Well, that one was bad too. That's end of game. Like, I'm talking about like when they do the lateral play or something BS like that, and then there's that the Nelson Aguilar play is bad enough. Yeah, I just blurred all those games together in my mind.
We're building a new studio for Circles Off that's going to be ready in a couple weeks and ready to go. But I'm going to be sitting in a corner which we're going to call Bad Beat Corner, and there's going to be images in that corner of personal bad beats that I've suffered over the course of my life that I'll just never forget. And will always stick with me. And in doing this and getting images, I've had to relive like 20 years worth of moments and try to like figure out which were the most painful for me as a whole. So it's just a nice reminder. And I just like, I'm coming back on stuff and going through bet histories and stuff. I'm like, I cannot believe that I lost this game. Still the most painful for me, which is well within the realm of possibility of losing. It's like a baseball game about 5 years ago where I had under 8.5, which was 0-0 going into extra innings. And this was before they had the runner on second rule as well. And Kyle Seager hit a grand slam. And I just remember getting the push alerts on my phone. I wasn't even watching it live. And I'm like, this cannot be real life. Like it cannot be real life. But that was one. And there's just so many, man. I was looking at bowl games from like 2012. There was this Washington State bowl game. I can't remember if it was the Belk Bowl or whatever. Just like massive fourth quarter collapse. And as I'm just going through these, I'm like, wow, that was 6 months off my life right there. Another 9 months. I'm just doing the tally. And I'm like, I probably went from living to 85 to maybe 65 at its max right now.
Yeah, it's a good question, right? Because like obviously it takes a lot out of you, the stress and everything. Could you watch the NFL without wagering on it though anymore?
I can't.
I can't. It'd be like you'd almost need to be on a team, right? Like that kind of sweat, I feel like is probably the only thing that can maybe tackle it.
Yeah, you'd have to have some vested interest. Like obviously, like I co-own the Hammer and we have, vested interest in doing NFL content. But like if betting were to go away, are we just going to pivot to talking about the NFL weekly? Like probably not. Probably not.
Not a huge market for that as somebody who hosts a non-betting football show. Like it's incredibly hard to get an audience just talking about football, especially now, right? Where, the vast majority of the people who are watching football now or have some sort of stake in it, whether it be fantasy or gaming.
I think like the chat, like fantasy's still big. I watched, I don't watch much NFL Network anymore. When I was growing up, I watched a ton of NFL Network. Steve Mariucci, Jamie Dukes, if you recall. What happened to Jamie Dukes?
Jamie Dukes, a Falcons legend.
What ended up happening to him? Do you know? Like, is he around? What's the
I don't know. Well, you remember that like a fair number of them got dinged for sexual harassment. I'm guessing it was something like that, right? Plus they like Heath Evans, for example, I know he was part of that. I can't remember who else, but and then they
Rod Woodson, right? Like Rod, I think he was.
Yeah,
that was the worst.
But also the NFL Network was just. Go ahead.
If it wasn't Rod Woodson, I want to clear his name. Maybe it was Darren Sharper. I'm thinking of probably. Someone.
Yeah, Darren Sharper's in prison right now.
Yeah. Okay. So it was Darren Sharper that I was thinking of. Yes.
Yeah. The Niners just huge donkeys for kicking this out of the end zone.
I didn't.
With the whole field.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
The kickoff from the 50-yard line. So the same thing happened in the early game today. Packers and Lions.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to kick it high in the air and landed at the goal line. Who is that? It's a big white guy. It's Disley.
That's rough.
Well, I thought it was 84, but we're going to get some chances. Yeah. I have a feeling we're going to get some chances in here. I have a feeling we're going to get
some chances. I think Gino that would have been that was a big pickup.
Yeah. It was like 20 something yards. What I was getting at was it was the first time I've watched NFL Network in a long time. And I just happened to turn it on and there's some sort of fantasy show that they're doing with, Cynthia Freeland,
Adam Rank,
Freeland. Yes.
Yeah.
And
it's on, I hardly ever watch it, but it's on at the office now, when I go in and it's like, it's not great anymore. Like it used to be such a novelty, but I don't get
what is the market for this? Like who is tuning into this stuff for start Deebo Samuel? Like no fucking shit. I'm going to start Deebo Samuel. Like does it, sit whoever has a terrible matchup against the best defense in the, what is the market for this anymore? Like who watches this stuff? Am I insane? Am I a crazy person?
I don't think so. I think that it's like 10, 12 years ago, I used to listen to this podcast called the Fantasy Football Weekly, which was like Paul Charchian. I can't remember who else. And that was like the one fantasy football podcast I listened to every week. And I feel like that show would have been good back when people needed to listen to one show a week. But nowadays, it's like you can just get your fantasy fix no matter where.
That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, yeah, back in the day, 2010, yeah, it's very different. But yeah, I mean, as they should be, Scott, like her game scores are all within as they should be when they're doing content later in the week. But like, again, it just goes to show that all of this is just needless. You guys want to figure out a way to do really good fantasy projections? Here's a very easy way to do it. Take the prop lines, plug them in, and figure out what fantasy points they're going to come out to. That's one of the easiest ways to arrive at decent fantasy projections.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's like how you also do player props too, by the way. Yeah. You just take you take the markets and mash them together and see which ones are inconsistent. I mean, but yeah, I mean, even if you want to even if you think you're sharper from the perspective of like efficiency, you can even use the volume markets. Like there are carry props for every one of these dudes. There are target props for every one of these dudes. There are catching, pass attempt props, sack props, speaking of, and all that. Like they're all there for people to use.
Dude, listen, I know it's easier said than done. When I say like, how do you take a sack there? Don't take a sack. I know it's easier said than done, but literally don't take a sack there. Like you got one job when you're 3rd and 4.
Yeah.
From the San Fran 35. You got one job. So don't get negative yards.
Yeah. Why are there not checkdowns available when that's going on? Is kind of one of my questions.
The right tackle mailed it in that snap.
It wasn't good, that's for sure. But
that's Jason Peters, no? Or is Peters out of the game now? And it's
he got injured. It was some guy named Forsyth.
Stone Forsyth, yeah. Some guy, Stone Forsyth.
He looked more like Stone Forsyth on that play.
Turnstile Forsyth. Yeah. I love when offensive linemen are called turnstiles. I don't know why. It just makes me laugh.
So if you ask the Ben question here, if you put that up, I can at least speak for PFF, right? So like PFF, we legitimately would regress things to the market, and we had all of those markets so that we were never off by that much. At Sumer, we're experimenting with a few other things, but no, I mean, I think most of these places you have to at least take some sort of guardrails from the market, or else some of your projections are going to be terrible for fantasy stuff.
Well, I saw Suma retweet some sort of projections today of expected point spreads of the game that were 15 points off market and stuff like that. And I'm like, how do people click submit on some of these tweets? I mean, I don't get it. It's just got to be honestly not knowing that being that far off market is a problem.
I know, in the early days, when there's just a level when you get into the space, you just don't get how. It's funny. I was in some sort of book exchange recently where you have to send somebody your favorite book, and I sent The Wisdom of the Crowds by James Schwarwicki because I'm this actually was very instrumental in going from somebody who frankly had no clue to somebody who has a little bit more of a clue than they had before. I just think the average person who puts out that Detroit is -17, it's what information do you have that no one else has?
Yeah.
How much better are you at synthesizing it than millions of people? And well, not only that, but the average of 1 million people. And that, and I just think people don't necessarily have that context when they do that.
Yeah. So for me, one of the big things when I'm doing betting breakdowns and I'm giving out a play is trying to rationalize why I'm off market, explaining why I have an edge on that. Right. So whether it's I think that the absence of this player is worth more than the market does. Or I think that this team has been regularly undervalued for X, Y, and Z reasons, right? It's always like, this is why I am getting a different number. The people who are using like all the same metrics and they're like, well, this team's yards per play is this and this is that. It's like, well, you're doing something wrong here, or you're not accounting for enough to arrive at this type of number. That's where most of it comes for. Is I think people do not account for enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's this really hard problem, right? Because you don't want to overfit anything, but at the same time, there's so much to account for, to your point. And so, like, there's just so much that goes into it. And like, I found this that when I was at PFF, like, if I didn't add a feature or two to the models, both college and pro, like every single year, the back test would be terrible. Like, you have to, because like when PFF put out their grades, right? Like the markets in a large, for a lot of our models dried up for quite a bit because that information, the good parts of that information, let's say, were incorporated into the market. And frankly, this is a good tweet by, I think it's Harry Crane, who's, I find his tweets interesting, but he's like,
yes,
if you bet Kelly, you're betting. What's that?
Pick six.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Honestly, Purdy was living on the edge with the play prior and then this one. I want to see a game, people. I have no rooting interest other than I just don't want to be here and it's 31-3 for the Seahawks. Apologies if it's your bet on the 49ers. But yeah, this is the second one in a row where he missed a short receiver and it turned into a defensive touchdown on this one. Not the one prior, but yes. All right. This is my issue with Brock Purdy, by the way.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So where is he? Oh, yeah. That's Jordan Brooks right there.
Sure is.
Wow. Brock Purdy.
What do we really make of the Brock Purdy argument or discussion or discourse, is very fascinating to me because we value EPA as a metric. He's number one in the league in EPA per dropback. But and here's the beautiful thing about tape, right? Me and you, Eric, we could watch tape and come to completely different conclusions on someone, asking someone else or whatever. And even the tape
you
guys,
and Joe A, for example.
Yeah. I might, for example, watch Simon Hunter breaking down Josh Dobbs in the pocket and calling him like amazing for his scrambling ability, and look at the play in which Josh Dobbs is staring at his feet for about 5 seconds before breaking the pocket, and we might arrive at different conclusions, and that's fine. The thing with the Brock Purdy stuff is it's like people are all over the spectrum on him, and I really don't know, because it's hard for me to ignore the fact that I watched the 49ers play, and this guy is routinely hitting wide open receivers. And every now and then, he just has some like terrible throws. It is honestly, they're not the same quarterback, but this throw that he just made was Jimmy Garoppolo-esque. It was Jimmy G-esque.
Mm-hmm.
This game, Jimmy G would have hit the open receivers, and it's sloppy. You got a receiver underneath, it's high, panic attack, 2 plays in a row. I think he's pretty overrated, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like early in the year, you and I were talking, and I think I had him underrated. I had him 3.5 points better than his backup, and I'm up a little bit on that. Like, I don't think like by much, but he's not. I mean, he's like what, half as valuable as some of like the actual like elite quarterbacks. Yeah. I think would be a decent estimate, right? I mean, so it's weird. Like, I think Shanahan's obviously the guy that drives the car, and even guys like Matt Ryan, once Shanahan left, like you saw a decline in their abilities. So I think it's pretty easy. I don't know. It's an interesting question for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good questions in here. How many QBs can you plug into Purdy's spot and see almost no difference? I mean, Fries, this is a little bit over the top. I promise you, plug Kenny Pickett in and it's similar results. I'm not sure I buy that. But yeah, I mean, Alvaro, he ain't overrated. I don't know. I mean, he just misses like a handful of throws every single game. And it's tough. It's challenging to put a real value on him because, yeah, I mean, he might not be overrated. He might be very good, but how do you value a guy who's throwing to more open receivers than any other team in the league?
I do think you're really like from a modeling perspective, I think you have to have the coach as a random effect, but then like the quarterback needs to be as well. And then and I think with Shanahan, it's nice because he's had enough different quarterbacks. I think for guys like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, it would be an interesting thing to think about as far as how much does Andy Reid add versus how much does Patrick Mahomes add? Like there's data that I have from scouts, our internal folks that don't actually, there are scouts that exist that don't think that much of Patrick Mahomes relative to what I would think of him. Right. And there's an Andy Reid component of it that I don't necessarily see. I've seen McNabb, I've seen Alex Smith. Patrick Mahomes is on a completely different level. But there are some people who have a hard time untangling those.
Yep. Totally agree. False start here by the 49ers, so it's going to make it 1st and 15 in the early going. But like, again, just mentioning Brock Purdy, and I look at the chat, and it's very, very split. And, we always tend to have this discourse around him, and it's just not this chat here, but it's all NFL fans, generally speaking. I think there's a very wide range on what Purdy can be. For anyone who hasn't liked the stream, please do so down below. Smash that like button. It goes a long way for us helping grow the channel. There was a ton of money that came in on Seattle at post, and then a little bit of buyback on San Fran, but there was some heavy money at post today.
I mean, they're a stop and a functional Geno Smith drive away from covering, or like at least pushing 7. Yep. Like I said, I don't think their defense has played horrifically today. Like they're being put in tough spots.
That tackle looked like it was very awkward for Kittle, but he got up right away. I'm going to do this for Calvin and Hobo, but I will do another countdown or sync up as soon as I see the play clock again, very quickly. So play clock is at 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. And that should be good enough right now. That should be good enough.
Yep. So Seahawks force a punt.
Yeah, I was interested to see. I was interested to see if this was going to be a flag. I'd love to see a replay of this. No. Good no call. Lots of sweating happening from the 49ers bettors now. Gotta love the NFL, man. Fucking 1 half. They're literally holding one team to 15 yards till the 2-minute warning. And now all of a sudden everyone's sweating.
And by virtue of like the Seahawks offense hasn't put themselves in position to score other than once, and then they missed the field goal. Yeah. So I would cool it a little bit on nervousness, but yeah.
Yeah. Now Geno back in the mix.
What did you think of Sam Howell today? I know you were consuming during that game, but like what did you think of Sma Howell?
You were consuming. Honestly, for an output of just 10 points and a pick 6, I thought he was fine. I thought he was put in a lot of bad positions. Like, I get you want to mitigate the Dallas pass rush. I understand. You have a quarterback that's taking a lot of sacks. You have a team with a good pass rush that can get home. But they were having success throwing the ball early in the game. Their receivers were winning one-on-one quite a bit. Yeah, okay, he's going to take an occasional sack. It's going to make it longer, but they made it way tougher on him. That was tough to watch, honestly, because he had a good presence. He felt pressure, and when he did, he rolled out quite a bit, was active with his legs, made some good throws. I thought he played way better than I guess the final box score would indicate.
Yeah, I think he has a good arm, and when he can step into it, he's pretty good. They also have really good receivers, and like I think that helps him. But it is really whether or not they have a good game is like whether or not Eric Bieniemy hits the ball on the barrel of the bat, right? Every game where he's like today's game, what the hell was that 4th and 1 call? Like running out of gun on 4th and like barely like half a yard. I thought he hung him out to dry a few times on dropbacks and stuff. So yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
It was our guy Parkinson running off the field here.
Sure was. Colby Parkinson. I just
they're
got
going to make him punt it again.
Yes, they've opted to enforce the penalty and repunt. I just got a DM on Twitter from someone who I've never interacted with before that says in all caps, "I got your back at BetBash 3 if there's a scrap," and then a bunch of muscle arms.
Rob, I got your back. I'm bigger than Big D.
I am going to Big D's not watching this, but I am going to reach out to him at some point in the next few days and just like try to alleviate. I don't like being hated or like I thought what I said was rather innocent and maybe was taken out of context a lot, or the reaction was a little excessive. But sometimes people feel the way that they feel with stuff. I will reach out at some point and see if I can ease the tension a little bit because, I mean, Scott, I honestly didn't think it was bad either. It was not meant as a learning moment for him. It was meant to just basically tell other people not to chase losses, but we'll see. We'll see how things go.
Metcalf with 9 targets and only 30 yards. That's not great.
Yeah, and he was thinking about running upfield before he even caught this ball. So we're going to have to get the ball into the hands of more reliable receivers like Colby Parkinson.
Yeah, he was on the field on first down. You could see his locks there. I just need him one ball in the flat here.
Yeah, let's see if he's still out there for this. I don't think he is on 3rd down, but I saw him out there on 1st and 2nd down, unfortunately. So we need to keep it going here.
Big play.
Wow. Oh my God. What a catch that was. Holy shit. Smith and Jigba, man. What a catch. Dude.
I can't wait that this is so cool. It gets to set up 2 more Zach Charbonnet runs.
That's a catch, man. 2 more Charbonnet runs. Well, it's not Charbonnet. It's my boy, DJ Dallas. I bet DJ Dallas last touchdown.
Oh, wow.
Score.
Oh, what a snag. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like a play behind you, Rob. I don't know how you guys in Canada get NBC way better national broadcast channel. That's our national broadcast channel. You get it way faster than we do.
None of this actually makes any sense to me at all. Thursday Night Football. Yeah. I mean, the NBC ones, it's the prime ones that we get way later than you guys. I don't understand it. Someone's got to explain it to me.
Yeah.
But prime, I'm always just here, dick in hand, 15 seconds behind everyone else. But when we got the other games, it's great. It's great. I would sync up with the American.
Gino's cooking now, guys.
I would sync up with
Gino's
the American
cooking
audience. But I don't want to be that far behind for live betting purposes. That's the only problem.
No.
If I go back in time, then the live betting.
You hate looking at the live screen and seeing the movement and knowing there's something fucked up about to happen to you.
Or when it's just like immediately taken off the board very quickly, one of those.
Yeah.
I had my buddy today during the Cowboys game. He's a Cowboys fan as well, over my house watching the game. And this dude's just reading out the live updates of the total of the game. before and after every play. He's like, oh, the juice moved up to minus 140. I'm like, well, obviously there's a big play going to happen or whatever. I'm like, buddy, put your phone away. Like, we're done with this at this point. I want to watch the game.
Yeah.
Totals up to 50.5 now, whatever. And I'm like, oh, big play. Or it went down. I'm like, oh, God, man. Just let me be.
That Bland guy having 5 pick sixes before, this weekend is insane.
Yeah. We got to wait.
That's probably got to be. Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. We want to. What I was going to say with Deron Bland is, I want to bet him first, and then we can get the movement of him being the defensive player of the year going. But let's wait till we all fire bets on him before we start the movement.
Got it. What is Gino's pocket awareness needs a little bit of work.
Little bit of work would be an understatement. Would be an understatement. I haven't noticed this. I'll keep an eye on this. Purdy has a wrap on his bad elbow. Keep an eye on that going forwards.
Oh, interesting. There's another Charbonnet run. Love that.
Dude, I'm watching. I just have eyes for Parkinson right now. He's been on the field every play, and he's just run blocking like a maniac. And I'm just waiting for that play action where, Gino rolls out to the right. Parkinson rolls with him. I'm just waiting for it. It's got to be coming.
Yeah, it has to.
It's got to be coming. He's still on, man. He's still in these packages. This is riveting. He's running downfield. Gino's rolling. No, throw it, Gino. Throw it. I actually think this was a play designed downfield for Parkinson, man. I'm not joking.
Oh, this is so gnarly.
Oh, Pete Carroll just fired his gum. He's not happy. Pete he
wants the ball to Parkinson.
Yeah. He knows Colby. That was a big Parkinson play. Honestly, here's what's going to happen. Calvin nailed it right now. Imagine if it happened. Seattle's going to work the ball down to the 5-yard line, and they're going to hit Parkinson for a touchdown for 5 yards. That's what's going to happen.
For 5 yards. Beautiful.
Charvarius Ward is down right now and holding his leg on the field.
Yeah, so you think about the Niners, that's 2 members of their starting secondary, Hufanga and now Ward. If Ward's hurt for any reasonable amount of time, that's not great.
No. That means like Ambry Thomas moves into
Zach Charbonnet is hard to tackle.
Yeah.
Parkinson's out there. God, but you need just get him up the seam. Just throw him a seam ball.
Lars.
How about Dak hitting that tight end to Ferguson down the seam? That was the worst drop of the game, I felt like. Dak was throwing heaters today.
Okay, Dak throws a great ball down the seam. He really throws that ball very, very well, generally speaking. Honestly, Dak is playing really well. He's playing fucking good football right now. So it's bad defenses.
He's the MVP. I mean, if it keeps this way, right?
Yeah, I mean he's playing well.
They might have to win the division, which sucks, like as a bar, but
yeah, it's very likely that that's going to be the case. It's very likely that that's.
But then I don't know who takes it instead of him.
Hurts.
Yeah, but I mean, Hurts has played well. His stats suck though. Like
everyone's stats suck. Everyone's stats suck for an MVP. That's the problem. Everyone's stats suck for an MVP. But
yeah,
we'll see.
Could still be Josh Allen, the great hope.
I mean, it could be. They'd have to go on a run to end the year here, but yeah, it's going to be like a recency bias towards the end. Like, remember last year, Jalen Hurts was like a runaway winner at one point. Then he got hurt, and Minshew came in, and Minshew had like a couple games where he was tearing it up. And everyone's like, everyone just forgot Jalen Hurts existed, basically, at that point.
Yeah. No, that was weird. There was the right. He was like there was the Thanksgiving week where Patrick, they won by like 6, but Mahomes threw 3 interceptions and like kind of blew that 27-0 lead by the Chiefs against the Broncos. And he threw 3 picks. Some of them were like bad balls, some of them were dropped. And he like went to being the underdog for the MVP, which is kind of and then Hurts got injured, so then that was that. But yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Travarius Ward walked off the field, and now Ambry Thomas is in. And is Parkinson in? Yes, he is on the outside. He's got 1v1, Gino. Look up to the top of the screen, bud.
Throw him a slant.
He's one. Look up, Gino. Okay. He's inside the 10. Gino scrambles inside the 10. I believe he's out at the 8. So a completion for a touchdown.
Yeah, so if we just get a touchdown to Parkinson here, we're
no running plays. No whammies with runs. This is what an unreal sweat. What an unreal sweat. Get tackled. He's tackled at the 7. Either between the 6 and the 7.
Evade a sack, roll around, goof off, and then Parkinson's wide open in the back of the end zone for the 7-yard touchdown. That's I think what this game needs the most.
Just right now, Eric. Right now, find Colby. He's been on the field so much in the second half. He just basically needs a target.
Inline tight end. They can't have Noah Kant on the field, as I like to call him. They can't put him out there.
JSN targeted on that play. He's pretty upset that there was no DPI. We'll see a replay. I mean, definitely Ambry Thomas held his arm coming out of his break. Without the most blatant of pass interference imaginable. Now I see why Gino just ran up the sideline yelling at the ref.
Is it okay? Second down's Disley's the only tight end.
We got no Colby on third down. And Gino's going to take a sack. That's what happens when you take Colby Parkinson off the field. You don't have your target.
So, Rob, do you kick a field goal here?
I would, yes. With the field position now, where are they at? Like the 14, 15? Where did he get tackled?
Yeah, 12. Yeah, it's tough.
This is what I mean about Gino.
Pete Carroll's definitely kicking the field goal here.
Yeah. Without a doubt, Carroll's going to kick it. But like Gino, you got to get rid of the ball, dude. Like you just don't take a sack. He's just completely unaware. Gino was the one that scored like off the charts dumb on the Wonderlic, no? Or am I thinking Vince Young?
Yeah, let me look. Hold on.
It was Vince Young, I know, was bad.
Yeah, Vince Young was bad. We find I can't find Gino's score here. I think you're talking about Vince Young.
Okay. Gino, listen, no disrespect to Gino. This is very disrespectful. So I preface a disrespectful comment by saying no disrespect. That's how I do it. But he seems like a dumbass to me. Like he just has zero awareness. Zero.
Well,
like
producer Zach or Jason or I'm forgetting the third producer. Sorry, Jacob. You got to find the Geno Smith tweet. I have it somewhere on my phone where he basically says that flat earthers have a point. You're a Giants fan, right? Like you got to find that was when Geno was Eli's backup.
Yeah.
Jeez, what a time. What a time for the G-men.
That's a tough one. Definitely, that's certainly a tweet. I've seen some other very interesting quarterback tweets in the past before as well.
Yeah,
few
it's
out there.
funny because, like, in my experience, like, I worked with Bruce Gradkowski, amazing dude, worked with Sage Rosenfels, but then, like, it's especially like guys who are backups, they're either like learned a ton of cool stuff when they were playing, behind Brett Favre and guys like that, or they're like complete doofuses like Matt Leinart. It's like it's one or the other, I feel like, for backups. But Geno turned flat earth when he was a backup, so good for him.
Geno turned flat earth, but is there anything better than Mitch Trubisky? It's his famous tweet of "I love to kiss titties."
Yeah, I mean, I find nothing objectionable with that at all.
I always go back and laugh to that one. It's obviously very harmless and whatever. It's just funny that a quarterback that got drafted so high tweeted that in college. Like it just makes me laugh every time.
You gotta be careful, Rob. Geno's probably 6'3", 220 as well. They call him Big G.
They call him Big G, but if you recall, he actually did piss off a teammate once, and he got cracked in the jaw. So Geno,
right, that was the last time the Jets have had a winning record.
Yes,
was that what was his name? Enigbare, like just absolute. No, what was his name? It was like a long name, and he just absolutely stole off on Geno Smith, and then Ryan Fitzpatrick came in and was the starter for the whole year.
Okay, so was Jets defensive end IK Enepkpali?
Yes, that's who it is.
Who I don't remember.
Yeah, he punched out Geno Smith.
I mean, Geno can take a punch, but I believe he broke his jaw on that punch. So, I mean, that seems like a truthful and reasonable tweet.
Oh, that's all we're looking for is reasonable people here, right? Those are our people. Reasonable.
Hey, no one's ever going to accuse Mitch Trubisky of not being reasonable. I'll tell you that.
Oh. No. Is he the best quarterback in Pittsburgh right now?
I don't think so. I mean, I can understand the argument, but I don't believe so. I'll tell you, it's not Mason Rudolph. We can eliminate Mason Rudolph from that conversation because I've seen enough of that guy for the duration of my lifetime. But it's pretty close between Pickett and Trubisky.
He was so bad that Myles Garrett swung a helmet at him. That's not easy to do.
I did bet a little bit of Kenny Pickett this week. So this is going to be a week where I'm rooting for Kenny. But I do believe that with Jake Browning as quarterback, the Bengals are legitimately in like Carolina Panthers territory. Personally, I don't like their defense. I don't think he's very good from the limited sample that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna rely on the Tomlin voodoo this week, and hopefully it's back.
Yeah, no, the Tomlin. Yeah, the Bengals are going to give up the big play or two that Pittsburgh needs to actually do things right. We were on the stream right when Pickett hit Pickens for that long touchdown against the Browns. Yep. The Ravens game, they had the Pickens touchdown. Like that's like the kind of stuff the Bengals do actually give up. And so I do actually think the matchup probably favors Pittsburgh more than the market implies. I would say that. I think that's fair.
And you know what? No more Matt Canada. That can't hurt. That can't hurt them right now.
No.
So San Fran's going to try to pound the rock here on this drive. It's worked up until now. But Jamal Adams with a big tackle for loss here. Big tackle for loss. What are people still sweating in this game? I know the one guy had Bobby Wagner over on tackles. He's at 7 right now.
I have the minus 10.5 live bet.
You have minus 10.5 live? Wow. That is a sweat. Right on the knife's edge right now.
Yeah, well, when I bet it was 7-3, and then I'm like, oh, what a great bet. It's going to Like we're pretty much there in the first half.
Yep.
Here we are.
God, I need to see Colby Parkinson back on
from
this
the
field.
from the stream this morning. There's the San Fran team total as well, which is on the line.
Oh yeah, I could see Clive being extremely tilted with San Fran finishing the game with 24 points.
They had 24 at half as well, and could have gone for on fourth down to go for a touchdown in the first half, which would have put them in position to go over in the first half.
Okay, we got second half under 20.5 from Milf Hunter. Still hunting those MILFs on Thanksgiving.
Probably I would imagine there's probably some value there. In such hunts.
Yeah. I just find it. I believe it was Suma that coined MILF Hunter. Like he just saw a comment and he's like, "Yeah, what's the comment from MILF Hunter?" And
it was one of the clips I used for like the
promo,
the best clips, the montages from each of them. And,
it was Suma, right? It was Suma that did it. Yeah.
He just casually just referenced M Hunter's MILF Hunter without putting any thought into what else could M possibly be. Big fourth down, by the way, also.
Yeah.
Actually coming up.
It's going to end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
End of quarter.
Such a Zach Wilson like Freudian slip from him.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. He just assumed that it was Elijah Mitchell.
He said, what else would M be?
What else could M be? We're like, I don't know. His first name could be anything that starts with an M, and Hunter could be his last name. Could be Mark Hunter, Max Hunter, Michael Hunter. There's a million names that start with an M.
Simon M. Hunter, could have been anything with a Hunter at the end.
Yes, MILF Hunter. Suma, man. Oh, too good. Too good.
Such a good one.
Well, I don't like to cheer against friends, Jacob, but God, a stop here would make things at least a little bit more interesting. Will Shanahan go for this? I mean, Shanahan's been way more aggressive this year, but in the past, this is like Shanahan stupid punt territory.
They're on like the 38 right now?
Yeah.
It's no man's land.
Could they not?
They did draft a kicker. I feel like that's part.
Ron Rivera would punt. Ron Rivera would punt this.
If you're drafting a kicker, he should be able to hit from this distance.
Dude, if you're an NFL kicker and you can't hit a 53-yarder or 55-yarder, like if you don't have the leg to get it there.
Not about hitting it. Like if your coach doesn't have the confidence in you to hit from this distance after the team drafted you, that's pretty insane to me.
Yeah, I'm with you. He said it. He said it very suggestively. MILF Hunter. Oh, it'll never stop now. That's just you forever.
Who's that? Who's coming in for fourth quarter? Is it the newly minted dad Fienberg? Who is it?
It's a good thing you reminded me that he had another child. I have to congratulate him, or else it would have been awkward if I didn't. Yeah, it's supposed to be Fienberg, but who knows? I don't know. Did Moretto mail it in? Yeah. Did he really book a guest? I have no idea. I never really know. Hitman's not around. He's hosting he's in orbit. He's hosting some sort of Thanksgiving thing, I think, with the in-laws and whatever. He messaged me early this morning. He's not in a good place, but yeah. Yeah. You're free to go whenever, Eric. You've been very generous with your Thanksgiving time tonight. I heard the dog in the background. I'll stay for the end
of this, whatever this drive entails, Rob, whatever it ends up being.
The offense is out there. I wish
Purdy could throw it to Colby Parkinson.
Man. You know he would target him here too. You know he would. The offense is out here.
It's like the Ross Dwelly.
Oh, rap. That's a false start. That's a false start.
That's a freaking false start, boys.
Right guard. Spencer Burford is injured tonight. That's John Feliciano. Woo.
Not great.
Former New York Giant.
Punt. Feliciano, former New York Giant. Correct. Yeah, keep pointing.
I have a feeling Gino's going to throw a back-breaking interception here, but I'm holding out hope for Gene's here.
Mm-hmm. I have a feeling Seattle loses this game by 4, and there's a bunch of tweets from Darren Ravel about the bet percentages on this game. That's what I think.
Love that.
Happen. That's my
nice 29-yard net punt, San Francisco. We're really proud of you. Hey, have a great rest of Thanksgiving, Rob.
All right, Eric. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Appreciate it. Eric Eager, Sumer Sports. Make sure you check out Sumer Sports, sumersports.com. I check it out every day. I don't just say that because Eric's my friend. I actually do check it out every day. It's bookmarked. I see it all the time. Geoff Fienberg is supposed to join us tonight, but Eric did let the cat out of the bag. He welcomed in a new daughter, I believe, third daughter of his this week. So we will see if Geoff is up for it tonight or not. But Gino starts it off with a pass to Charbonnet. Drank too much of the scotch already, people. Just keep it going. That sound. How good is that sound? Who is that? Charbonnet again. I need to be alerted every single time Parkinson is on the field. I need to be alerted. You know what, Fries? I'm glad you poured another one too. Happy Thanksgiving, brother. Happy Thanksgiving. All right. Fourth quarter. You're living on the knife's edge right now. If you bet the spread in this game. Oh, penalty, bringing it back. Illegal shift. Can't get those penalties. Cannot. Any thoughts on Knob Creek? I'm a fan. But as I mentioned earlier, I really haven't had a scotch that I don't like. And I'm not quite sure. Okay, like Parkinson is open on all these plays. For God's sakes, just give the guy a damn pass. For God's sakes, just give me the damn number. No, we're going to run a screen pass to Charbonnet. God, this team is painful. Pete Carroll trying to figure out what's going on. Sad to think that Carroll might be in the upper half of coaches in the league. I truly believe that. Seems like the chat's a big fan of Knob Creek. All right, I'll pick up a bottle for next week. Parkinson is on the field on all these plays. He's on the field on all these plays. Let's just give the man a target. What better than 3rd and 8 for Colby Parkinson to get a target over the middle of the field for a first down? Would that not be ideal? Man, Gino, this guy cannot help but take a sack on 3rd down. He just has, zero pocket presence. Zero. None. And he's hobbling off the field now. Ankle hurt, elbow hurt, ego hurt. Everything's hurting for Gino.
How much do you downgrade the Seahawks, if at all, if Gino comes out of the game?
If Drew Lock comes in?
Yeah.
I think the Seahawks would have won last week if Drew Lock didn't have the 2 drives. Personally.
There you go.
Drew Lock sucks. He sucks. Oh, fumble, and they recover right away. Was almost there. All right.
Oh, my goodness.
Even with the birth of another child this week, my man Geoff graces us with his presence. Jeffrey,
What up, Rob?
how
I'm
are
sweating
things,
this
man?
one hard, to be honest.
Okay, what are you sweating hard?
Like everything 49ers.
Okay.
They're my gold pick this week at the 6.5 out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got real crazy with some minus 300s. So I need 49ers bad, okay?
Well, I will root for you.
If you want diapers and 49ers.
Diapers. I really am just looking for Colby Parkinson to catch a goddamn ball for 7 yards or more. He's on the field a million times.
You know, but I can tell you, I can see why watching this game, why Kyle Shanahan blew a Super Bowl with a huge lead. I mean, to be so cocky to do what they did back at their own goal line when they have Christian McCaffrey, like, come on.
You know what? You know what, Jeff? I get it, but the guy is damn good too.
No, I'm a big Purdy fan. I'm a big Shanahan and Purdy fan. I'm a fan of all of them, but that just, you know, I don't know. There's like when you're playing a team against the ropes, sometimes you can eat some medicine and like punt it if you have to. Not even say they would, but real sloppy. The play before the interception was almost pick six was almost intercepted.
Correct. It was right before, back to back. I've been having some medicine of my own today, Jeff. Medicine in the form of booze and trees.
Yeah, it's a good day, and you don't have to spend it with family either up here in Canada. So it's sort of like a bonus.
How are things for you this week, man? New kid. How's everything, man? You don't normally you come in and you're a lot more vibrant. I don't want to pick on you or anything, but you look a little bit beat down tonight, man. Maybe it's just sweating the football game. That's doing it for you.
Yeah, long day of football. Rob, I don't normally do the fourth quarter shift with you. You know, I do catch you earlier in these games. So yeah, I don't know. I got nothing to complain about, you know, as much as I hate the Detroit Lions, I got nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
But everything's good. Mom is great. Baby boy is good. So that's sort of all that matters, Rob. I'll tell you this. It's probably the only thing that can happen. My son was born at 6 p.m. on Sunday, so he's still never seen the Chargers. And I kind of thought they could fire Staley so he would never have to be part of it would feel like a super fresh start, right? Like to his life would begin a new era maybe for the Chargers, but the Chargers have decided not to fire Staley. But you know, I watch all the press conferences. I watch everything he's opened his mouth, you know, even if he goes on a show like in the off season, like I'll listen to it. Like, so I've got a full accounting of everything that's ever been said. And I realized I was a mark. I was a mark for the monorail man. I was Chief Wiggum dancing on the front steps, you know, the day that he came to town. Okay, I thought, just like you analytics nerds, you thought, I think Chargers will figure something out there. Fuck.
Yeah. We figured out very soon that he actually had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah, he had no idea.
Going for everything.
But Rob, I mean, pretty much the only thing that could make me feel like bliss after that Chargers game in the world is probably having a child and like just like that sort of
nice
melancholy, I don't know, afterglow, I think they would probably say. So you could see your coach get up at the podium and tell you that he doesn't care about what the fans think.
Right.
And this isn't like McCarthy saying, I don't care what fantasy football guy thinks, which we all agree with.
Yep.
Or Jefferson saying, I don't care what fantasy football guy saying. This is the head coach of my football team of a very maligned fan base. For the fans that actually exist, we feel maligned on every front, always. For my head coach to come out and say, I know we don't care. No one's calling us, you know, for our opinion on what they should do. But to say that we don't matter, like I am, again, it takes having a child for me not to like have exploded, I think, on hearing something like that.
Well-
So you're asking me how my week is? My week is going great.
Well, that's good to hear, man. That's good. Listen, I don't have kids. I'm not going to have kids, so I won't have the experience. And I'm sure you love your daughters very much. I'm not going to take, two lovely daughters. Unfortunately, you've turned them into Chargers fans as well.
No, I haven't turned anyone.
Well, I see the daughter wearing the Chargers gear, and
I know what you're saying. I know what you're about to ask. And Pat actually had a great question for us on the show this week, Tim and I. In a world in which like your kid shouldn't like adopt your team of being shit, like who should they cheer for? And he put me on the spot, and I said Pittsburgh. It's just like a stable organization. They'll like, I know now they're winning with voodoo, but historically, like they can just win. They're proud. They operate the right way. Like the Chargers, as example, we are not serious people.
Right.
We are not serious people.
Right.
We should not be taken seriously in the league landscape, and we are not serious people. And I guess like maybe the 49, like blue blood franchises that are like good and like, because it doesn't matter who's like, if the team's good now, it doesn't matter. We're talking about like, who would we want our kid to adopt for a good life? And we certainly didn't want them to pick the Jets or the Chargers. Pat suggested the Ravens, which I agree. They seem to be a new age model franchise. I like that owner. And I do like purple more than silver and black. I think it's a great color. So
boom. Geoff, I got great news for you, buddy. I got great news. I'm just making sure to see that there's no flag. Just gonna wait for a few more seconds.
Rob, no flag.
It's in the end zone.
He's
Brandon
so
Ayuk.
good. Ayuk is so good.
He's so good.
So yeah,
He is
Rob,
so
let
good.
me ask you: if you had a kid and like you're like, I can't pass on the Cowboys. I don't want my son to cheer for a team who's run by Stephen Jones's kid or Stephen Jones and his kid. Like, so who? Like, I don't know. What's the team? I think the Ravens is a great choice, or I'll put it to the chat even.
Well, here's the thing. If you want, like,
a Northeast team that like cares that it's important. I don't know. That's where I would. You think that I would steer a child to?
So, I get that. I understand, but Baltimore like is Lamar away from like getting back into a rebuild. Like,
yeah, but no, I'm not. I don't care about. Who cares? You have like we're talking about who's on the team in 13 years when the kid's wearing like his jersey in 7th grade.
It's like, very important for them when they're in the ages of like 5 to 8
that the team is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I was going to say the Houston Texans. It's not a great East Coast franchise, but you get that kid a CJ Stroud jersey for like
you're looking at this all wrong, Rob. The kid is 6 pounds 13 ounces right now.
Dude, like, what do you think CJ Stroud is going to be when your son is 5 years old?
No,
this guy is going to be a legend.
Five is still a little young. Like at 5, they're still dumb enough where they'll just cheer for the shirt. Like,
yeah.
I can't. Like honestly, in 12 years, the Texans could be horrible, and they're not a blue blood franchise. Like I don't know, man. But no, that's a respectable answer. That's off the wall because I like cheering for teams. Like I'm a Chargers fan, so I respect him cheering for a team where like he'll know no one else who cheers for that team.
So here's the thing. You might try hard to make your son a fan of a team, and he might just say,
oh, yeah.
Because that's what happened with me and my dad.
You can't do that. Yeah, if you try too hard, it's like anything. They'll resent you. You force them to watch a game instead of playing with their friends. They're gonna hate hanging out with you watching your team play.
I'd grow up and I'd be watching like what was the show with Tom Jackson and Chris Berman? Was it Primetime? ESPN
Primetime or Countdown?
So after the games,
love that show. Best show.
It was so good.
The glory days though, but that's when we couldn't watch 10 games at once either. Like that was the goods, right?
Right. So I'd be watching the highlights with my dad every week, and he'd watch the Cowboys. And he'd be like, Cowboys again. Like, I hate the Cowboys. Like, I'm so sick of this team and whatever. And after that happened like 5 or 6 times, I'm like, you know what? I'm adopting the Cowboys. That's going to be my team. And he had no influence. He tried to keep me away. He wanted me to pick anyone but the Cowboys. And I ended up with the Cowboys.
Tim's Tim Anderson claims his dad being a Dolphins fan and him picking the Jets had nothing to do with and I disagreed. I go subconsciously, because when we were young, Tim's around our age, Rob. Like when we were younger, the Jets destroyed the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Like they were the Dolphins' kryptonite. Those great Wanstead teams could never beat the Jets ever. Like Jumbo Elliott, like so many insane. Anyhow, yeah, I agree. And I'll remind you were obviously a Sopranos guy.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite scenes ever.
Sorry, you're obviously a Sopranos guy. What are we doing here, man?
No, well, I'm gonna go like to a really
me like that.
No, but I'm going like to a really like a real Easter egg scene for me in the history of the show. That's why like you could just like be on the fence. Like even if you're hardcore, you might not remember the scene I'm talking about. It's this is in the Chargers' heyday. Like LaDainian Tomlinson, you can go to any Foot Locker in North America and see a baby blue 21 hanging on the wall. Like era of life. Okay, Rob.
Yep.
Is that racist? Calling it? Are you asking someone? Are you a Sopranos guy, Ryan?
Well, you know what? It can be viewed that way. You got to be very careful with this stuff, Jeff. In 2023, you say that to the wrong Italian.
Bobby Baklava and Tony are at Bobby's house.
Bobby Bacala. I gotta.
Sorry, yeah.
It's not baklava like the
pastry, right?
The dessert or the pastry.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not a baklava. Bacala is a type of fish. It's cod in Italian. But continue. Yes.
Okay, so they're at Bobby's house and they're sitting down to watch the Giants game, and Bobby Jr. goes running down the stairs. Like he's running out the door, and Bobby Senior is like, where you going? The Giants are about to start. And he's like, I'm going to like Steve's house to watch the Chargers game. And he's like, but this is a Giants house. Like it was like such a like he screamed, this is a Giants house.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing?
It's too much, man. It should also be noted that in The Sopranos, they were making bets with Pinnacle Sportsbook. That's did come up.
Great drop. That's an Easter egg. I thought I had an Easter egg. That's like a double down Easter egg on my Easter egg.
Tony's like, why didn't you bet with us? We would have give you a better price. You're not getting better prices with the Sopranos Sportsbook relative to Pinnacle. I'll tell you that right now. Very competitive odds. This is the Giants. Great stuff, Jacob. Great stuff, man. That was really good, man. Yeah. Oh God, I love The Sopranos. I love The Sopranos. Scott wants to know when you're going to California and leaving your wife and newborn.
I am going. Listen, this was her idea, and I resented it, and I thought it was a trap, like forever. I thought it was a trap for so long that it's actually cost me a lot more to book the tickets, because I should have booked the tickets to fly when she first told me I should do it. But I played this like, no, this is a trap.
Yeah.
But I'm going like a couple days before Christmas, and I'm probably going to Chargers Bills, Rob. And now I realize I probably have to go. I don't want to go. I honestly don't want to go schlepping to a stadium, but I got to take my nephew who loves the Bills and the Chargers. But I realized the game's on Peacock, and like, I don't even have that.
No.
And like where I'm gonna be, like I don't even know that. Like honestly, I might not even be like the restaurants won't have that shit. Like so for like in Canada, we actually get pretty lucky with broadcast football, like golf especially, like how we're treated in majors, compared to like it's one of the rare times where TSN uses all 5 channels essentially. Like
1 second.
What just happened? You got your catch?
That looked like Colby Parkinson. It was. We got the 9 yards. Let's go.
Was it over a half?
We had a over 5.5 and over 6.5 receiving yards.
Oh, good for you, Rob. Good for you, buddy. And you probably been sweating that for four quarters, 3 quarters.
Dude, he's been on the field for like 50% of the snaps this game. He's been wide open on these plays, and Gino's scrambling. Finally, we get it. There's nothing worse than like having a good handicap and being like, this guy is getting a ton of snaps, and is not priced that way. And finally, we get it. Finally, get it. I'm sorry to cut you off, Jeff.
No,
I also wanted-
that's you've been sweating that for 3 quarters. Bam,
I
I'm
also
going
wanted
to
to point
California.
out that
I'm
your
abandoning.
your nephew sounds like a bandwagoner as well. By the way,
Yeah, he might
Chargers
be,
and
but he's
Bills
like
fan. What
10
the hell
years
is
old.
that?
He's
Yeah.
10 years old, Rob. He's allowed to be a bandwagoner. I put no pressure on him. I send him to like summer camp. I got like years ago, Burrow jersey t-shirt, Herbert jersey t-shirt, Allen jersey t-shirt. Pretty much I'll buy him anyone but Mahomes. And I'm not against Mahomes because I love Mahomes, but I told him like your mom can buy you Mahomes. Like I don't need to buy you Mahomes. If you want something Chiefs, like my fingers won't click it. I'm not against it. I got all the respect in the world. He's QB1 elite, the best I've ever seen. But like other people in your life can purchase that for you. That doesn't have to be me. That was sort of my thoughts. But yeah, my wife just, I don't know. Long story. She wants my other 2 kids to spend some time with their grandparents, and she'll probably enjoy the quiet of those kids being gone. And when it's your 3rd kid, she's got a routine down like Pat. She knows what she's doing. I can't really explain it, but that's how it works.
That's how it is. And you know what, Jeff? If you were sweating the 49ers, huge 4th down stop. Huge Jacob behind the scenes laid the 10.5 live with the 49ers. It's all coming up forward progress in the last minute or so.
Rob,
here.
There was a moment in this game, honestly, no offense. Every Seattle points. Their touchdown was on a pick 6. Their first field goal required a 60, 70-yard kick return to like then go 3 and out to kick it. And then the other field goal required like a insane Smith and Jigba 3rd down reception. Like all of their points tonight involved something stupid.
It's true. It could have been way bigger, a blowout. Completely agree with that. I've given this a lot of thought in the last 10 minutes, Jeff, for your son's franchise of choice.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm dead serious with what I'm about to say. Dead serious.
Jacksonville, the first England team? What?
No, it hits the check boxes for me. The Detroit Lions.
Okay, that was when we had a conversation, I said that because it's close enough where like when he's
but also more importantly, Jeff, for you
like
as a
father,
for you as a father taking your son to a game, you get the indoor game. Yeah. Which is way more important because it's got to be close in proximity to Toronto.
Yeah, but then he cheers for the same team as Kanish.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say.
But Kanish, I mean, listen, there's lots of scumbags that cheer for every team. That's just the reality of the situation.
Fitting too. Like, well, the thing is, you kind of don't want your kid to be a Vikings or a Lions fan, the same way you don't want them to be a Chargers fan. Like, there might be a moment here and there.
The curse cannot last forever. Here's the thing, Jeff. You take your kid to a game in Detroit, you go drop him off afterwards at Kanish's place. You're like, here, spend the day with Uncle Joey. He starts to learn how to bet, go to kiosks, get bets down, whatever. By the time he's 18, he's already making a living betting on sports. You
assume he learns from Kanish and all of a sudden he becomes a winning bettor, Rob.
Well, Kanish knows how to finagle information out of other winning bettors. That's what he does well. He doesn't make good picks himself, but he knows how to get money down for other people. He knows how to provide a service.
Are you essentially calling him like the Dove Kleiman of betting?
Yeah, that's a fair comparison.
He is just stealing the work of good.
No, it's not IP theft, right? He provides a service, right? Like Kanish could get money down, man. He'll drive across the board. He goes to play pro lines in Ontario if he has to get money down for people. He's good at what he does. He earns. That's what it's all about. Sports betting, it doesn't matter how you do it. Some people are very good at modeling games. They make numbers. Some people do all sorts of other things. He's solid at that. But that's it. That's the answer, Jeff, because until he hits like he's a teenager, more than that, he's not going to games himself. You're the one that's going to have to take him to games. Do you want to go to Orchard Park in the middle of December in a fucking snowstorm to watch the Bills play? You want to see outdoor games in Pittsburgh, in Cleveland? Detroit is the option.
Game, Rob, like this might be the most old man thing of me to say. going to games, like I dread the thought of going to games.
Oh yeah,
Like
it's
I
gotta be a
dread
primetime
it.
game. It's got to be a primetime game.
Like I dread it. Not only does it probably have to be a primetime game, like I don't even like going to Chargers. I'd prefer to go to a non-Charger game so I could actually just enjoy it. Because like I'm like a fan. Like if the Chargers won a game 3-0, I'd leave happy, and it could be the most boring game like in the history of football.
Yeah.
But I'd be nervous. I wouldn't have a fun experience. Last Chargers game I was at, I tried to tell myself, like, you're going to a game, just have fun. Doesn't matter if they win or lose, just enjoy the day. Like 3 plays into the game, like impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible. Impossible.
That's never gonna happen. That's never gonna happen.
But yeah,
But-
I mean, at MILF Hunter football games, honestly, it truly seems the schlep to go to.
Did you call him MILF Hunter as well?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I stole that
It's
from
just
you.
M Hunter, man. Why does everybody call this guy MILF Hunter?
I thought you do that, so I
No,
did.
Suma did it at first, but the guy's name is like Max or something. Mike. It's like Mike
Sorry.
Hunter.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Like I'm G Fienberg. Like doesn't mean I know.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be a lot of things. Yes. But it's not MILF Hunter. You could be Gilf
No,
Fienberg.
going to games seems horrible. And I don't like I remember being young and seeing so many fights at Bills games, Rob. So I don't want to say like it's more violent today because we see things on the internet, like on Monday. Essentially, you could spend 3 hours on Monday watching like 50 fights from NFL stadiums from the weekend online. Like people
True.
aggregate that shit.
Yeah, but me and you are not guys. We know how to stay clear of that shit.
Oh yeah. People think I'm crazy. I don't even open my. I wouldn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Like I might cheer for a first down, but like the second I sense like no, this guy is like not here. He's not playing around. Like I'll quickly even. Yeah. And Rob, you know what else I do? Like this might be like a stolen valor move, but not actually. When I go to Chargers, like road Charger games, I wear like the Chargers, like NFL military appreciation gear. Cause like no one's gonna bite a guy who's supporting the troops. Like you can't like you might like you're not gonna fight the guy supporting the troops. Like, you know, in a camera.
Exactly. Yeah, that's definitely not gonna happen. Someone asked Dave Clark, will Seattle get the ball back? First down for San Fran here, and it doesn't look like Pete Carroll's using timeouts. So I think we're just going to run out the clock here and ride off into the sunset, into the Black Friday sales tomorrow morning. Got to pick up some fresh underwear online, Jeff. Some undershirts, some new socks.
I need socks. All my like good socks for winter apparently seem to have holes in them.
Yeah, that's the thing. My undies and socks, they've seen better days. This is way too much information.
Yeah, but it's like different. It's like different socks. Like,
yeah,
your summer socks and your winter socks. Like,
I'm weird, but I don't do like a lot. I don't do like the big wool winter socks, big cotton socks guy. I'm not like
I'm not like the big one, but like I'm not wearing black socks in this. I'm not wearing like in the summer. I'm just like low little white socks,
ankle socks.
Yeah, in the winter I'll wear like more higher, warmer black socks, like under a boot. You know, that's all. It's different socks.
That's it, man. Well, Jeff, you get home, man. We're going final score here. San Fran 31-13. Appreciate you joining again. I'm telling you though,
the books, man. That I was a sucker, Rob. I got sucked into what like seemed like the free Christmas present money teaser today. Like it just seemed like they were.
You know what? It happens. You honestly made a good bet. Seriously, you did what you and sometimes they're gonna win, sometimes they're gonna lose, but it is what it is. Geoff Fienberg, everyone. Appreciate you, Jeff.
Have a good night.
All right.
Later, boys.
Geoff Fienberg. Do you think Jeff knows what a gilf is? If he knows what a MILF is, he definitely knows what a gilf is. Probably does. Once again, to all my nails out there, appreciate you. This game was disgusting, and you hung out right till the end. It doesn't go unnoticed. I promise you that. Only thing I'll ask going forward, it's the same thing I ask every single time. Appreciate the support. If you can help spread the word, get this out to other people in your network. till the end of the year. Let them know all the content we're doing at Forward Progress. If we can turn even some of those people into fans here and into subscribers, it will go a very long way. We did a Forward Progress pick show this morning. Those ended up 5-2. Some profits in there. The Circles Off duo, me and Johnny, 2-0. 2-0. We continue the run on these pick shows where I don't think either of us has lost yet. So very happy for that. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I am back for Pizza Buffet Sunday morning, 11 a.m. It's the standard schedule this week. 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Pizza Buffet. Forward Progress with Clive Bixby, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then Monday Night Football, live watch along. Vikings, Bears. I'm actually looking forward to that game. Both those teams are kind of coming on right now. For myself, Rob Pizzola, for our guest tonight, Iain MacMillan, G-Stack George, Eric Eager, Geoff Fienberg, my producer, Jacob Gramegna, behind the scenes, making all of this happen. This has been another live watch along on Forward Progress, part of the Hammer Betting Network, presented by Pinnacle Sportsbook. Everyone enjoy your night, and I will catch you later on this week. Peace out.